Oh, fuck, jellyfish. NL, please explain the fear of jellyfish. Well, I don't think it needs an explanation, you know? Like, a fear of heights, you could fall and die. A fear of jellyfish, you know, Portuguese man-o-war stings you, you're in hell. You're dead. But really, it is like it's an irrational fear because I've never encountered jellyfish, or at least not consistently encountered jellyfish in my life. But, I don't know, they just sort of gross me out. Yeah, exactly. Melanie ZZZ's got it. They're all squidgy and shit. They are super squidgy, and they don't have a brain, but they do brain-like things, like move to where food is and stuff like that. It's like a thinking plastic bag. Your chances of dying via jellyfish are really low. Well, you know, pretty much anywhere in the world, your chances of dying to freaking, you know, a spider bite are pretty low. But nobody has, like, an irrational fear of cardiovascular disease that actually kills, like, 1/3 of North Americans. Everybody's like, oh no, I'm scared of flying in an airplane. I'm scared of jellyfish. It's a fault of the human brain. Nobody's like, shit, dude, if I keep eating like this and living this sedentary lifestyle, I might die in 10 years, or, well, maybe 30 or 40 years. But everybody's like, oh no, instead, let's get real freaked out about the, you know, dying in a home invasion or something. I'm scared of sharks, even though they've only killed like 5 people. The shark thing, like, I'm not afraid of sharks, but I understand that anything that is under the water is more scary to me, because you can't see it, man. When I went to Scotland, there were skins of jellyfish that washed up on the beach. They were all gooey and shit. See? Like, they're all gooey and shit. Why would you not be afraid of that, man? Yeah, exactly. You're more likely to die in an accident on the road, but everyone, well, not everyone. A lot of people are like, I don't want self-driving cars. Ain't no robot ever gonna drive my car. I'm scared of the darkness that resides within the souls, or the bosoms of mortal men. Oh, what the heck, man? It's a big frostbite spider. I can't wait till he sees the frostbite jellyfish. I don't buy it, man. What's going on in here? Wait, no frostbite jellyfish. What will be the most dad bands in 20 years? I think a lot of dad bands are going to be relatively timeless. Like, the Eagles will still be a dad band because we've got young dads listening to them already. But then I'm thinking like, you know, Imagine Dragons, they got a pretty good shot of being a dad band in 20 years. Kings of Leon, if they ever make it back, that seems like a real daddy band. Will Kanye West be a dad artist? I mean, I think for Caucasian dads, we might be pushing the point where some hip-hop artists can be dad artists that are not just gimmicky rappers like, you know, Snow or MC Hammer, Vanilla Ice, etc., etc. Coldplay is a dad band. We've covered this. In my impression, I think Coldplay is a daughter rock band. It's a daughter band that dads want their daughters listening to. That is surreal. My dad is always making me listen to Coldplay. That's step 1 of the dad handbook. When your daughter turns 14, make her listen to Coldplay. Turn her into a more mellow person. Why does it seem so... a more... like, I don't even want to say it, but I like the joke. A more yellow person. I get it, because Coldplay's famous song, Yellow. NL, did you wash your hands? I did wash... There's always a conspiracy on Twitch that the person didn't wash their hands. I washed my hands. If you listen closely, you can hear the sink run for like 45 seconds. I think it's like good cop, bad cop. They're being like, I know you didn't wash your hands, fucker. And then someone's going to admit to it, but I'm not going to admit to shit because I wash my hands. Skyrim is now covered in poop. Who cares if he washed them or not? You should care. You should wash your hands. Like, we live in a relatively safe society. You should wash your hands nonetheless. Because it's the easiest way to fight off infection. I learned a long time ago how to not piss on myself. You know, here's the thing. You shouldn't be indignant about washing your hands, man. Like, even if you don't piss on your hands and your dick's not dirty. Which these are possibly, you know, logical leaps we're jumping through here. It's just good to wash your hands every time you pee to remind yourself that it's important to wash your hands. Like, if you wash your hands every time you pee, that means you're going to be washing them like once every couple of hours, maybe. And then you're keeping your hands clean on a regular basis. You're helping out society. You're helping out yourself. You're helping out everybody. Touching the faucet in a restaurant is dirtier than touching my dong. I mean, if everybody washes their hands, no, it's not. I don't get the justification for not washing your hands. When I was younger, maybe I was a little selfish about it. I'm like, I don't want my immune system to be weak. You got to fight off germs to keep yourself strong. Yeah, dude, but not everybody is like a 20-year-old man in the prime of his life with a hugely, like, you know, ubermenschian immune system. Some people are like 80-year-old people with, you know, diseases and stuff. You wash your hands so they don't touch the door handle and get killed by the germs that you transfer to them self-righteously. There's kids around, you know, they got compromised immune systems. You're gonna be, oh, sorry, little Timmy died of pneumonia because some dude in good health at age 25 decided not to wash his hands ever. You know, part of being a good member in society, a good member of society, is doing things that, even if you don't necessarily agree with, are good for other people. You know, you don't just wash your hands or wash your hands for yourself. You wash them for the people that might not be as lucky as you are to be, you know, to have such a robust immune system. It's herd immunity or some shit like that. Hell yeah, why would I get a vaccination? I could survive polio. I don't care if I pass it on to 30 other people. Give me the when you get polio once, you can never get it again. If you wash your hands every time, does it matter if no one else does? Society, you know, might not always be there with you 100%, but you should gain value out of being a good person yourself. You shouldn't be like, well, why should I be a good person if other people are being bad people? If everybody has that attitude, we're all fucked. Instead, you should be like, I want to do this because it makes me a good person. I get satisfaction out of slightly inconveniencing myself to make the world an incrementally better place. I will say, when I was in Japan, I would say like 80% of public Japanese bathrooms don't have soap in the bathroom. They just have water. It's not killing any germs. You're just washing your hands with warm water. That's like, it's making nobody happy. You're wasting water and not getting your hands clean. You might be able to get some shit off your hands if you pissed or shit on your hands. Warm water kills germs better than soap. Bacteria can become resistant to soap. This is false. Bacteria can become resistant. I don't even know if bacteria can become resistant to soap. For that matter. That might be true. I'm not going to say it's not true. I'm going to be the bigger man and admit that I just don't know. However, warm water kills bacteria better than soap is not correct. What about warm water plus soap? No, don't be ridiculous. I don't want to contribute to creating superbugs. Ever hear of MRSA? It's a bacteria that's become resistant to the soap because of overuse of soap. Yo, dude. I've been in hospitals in the last year. These hospitals are run by doctors. There are signs every 2 steps that are like, hey, you dirty boys, wash your hands after you use the bathroom so the people in the hospital don't die. I mean, MRSA, if you get an outbreak of that in a hospital, that's a fucked up situation, I agree. At the same time, they don't say, hey, wash your hands once every 4 times you go to the bathroom. Who runs the world? Germs? You're lucky that you're getting this, don't wash your hands stuff out in a safe space on the internet. If, you know, I like you guys. I just want you to know, you should never tell anybody in real life that you don't wash your hands after you pee. They're going to stop hanging out with you. They're going to be like, I thought he was cool until he told me he doesn't wash his hands after he pees. I still hang out with my friend, and he totally used to piss in the sink. I don't understand why you would piss in the sink. I've peed in some weird places. I don't understand why you'd ever choose to pee in the sink. It's harder than peeing in the toilet. I assume, anyway. Too lazy to go to the bathroom? It was the kitchen sink! That's so much worse! You pee in the sink if somebody's peeing in the toilet already? Chad. You have to get over this. At some point, you have to integrate into actual society. You can't be doing this. You just pee in the toilet. If someone's peeing in the toilet, you wait. What if you can't wait? You should have gone earlier. Managing your bladder is step like 4 of adult life. Don't lump us normal people in with these weirdos. A packed party with a huge bathroom line might warrant sink peeing. No. If you're there's more reason not to pee in the kitchen sink at a packed party, because everybody's gonna see it and be like, that's the dude that peed in the kitchen sink. What's wrong with chat? Just pee in the toilet and wash your hands, you monsters. It's pretty much where I'm at. Like, it's not that big of an ask. It's not like they're like, hey, cut your hair. You know, start to live like a civilized person or wear a suit every day. They're just saying, don't pee in the kitchen sink and then not wash your hands as well. What if you don't touch like anything though and you're in a hurry, then do we still need to wash our hands? It takes 15 seconds to wash your hands. Why don't you just touch your dick when you pee and then wash your hands after? It's not like it's like, oh, mom, I don't want to do my homework. It's going to take me 8 hours. You just got to wash your hands, man. Within reason, you should probably be washing your hands at any available opportunity. Like, if you ever think I need to wash my hands, you should just wash it. It takes 10 seconds. Now, admittedly, you can take it a little too far. You know, if you think you've got obsessive compulsive disease or something like that, or disorder, then you should be concerned about that. However, I think that there's also, you gotta ask yourself the question, why am I making up 20 excuses to not wash my hands? Like, that speaks more to me about something likely wrong than anything else. You've changed my life, NL. I'm a hand-washing man now. Look, I've been there. The plight of the young man. Me against the world. Why would I wash my hands? I'm immune to infectious disease. It's something you gotta get over. Society says wash your hands, wash your hands. If society tells you to jump off a bridge, question it. If they say, hey, this is good for us, you just wash your hands. It takes 10 seconds. You should just wash your hands. I'm a young man. Don't group me in with these degenerates. If I did a PSA about washing your hands, it would just be called wash your hands. Why not? What if I don't like getting my hands wet? Is there an option for me? Yeah, the option is get over it and wash your dang hands. What if you're allergic to water? Why does it always come back to this? It always goes to the extreme with you, Twitch chat. It's always like, hey, you should eat fruits and vegetables. Yeah, what if broccoli is toxic to me, and if I even smell a broccoli floret, I'll die? Well, clearly you should exercise independent thought in that situation and not eat broccoli. For the average person, they should probably eat fruits and vegetables. Are you allergic to broccoli? If you're allergic to water, yeah, man, you got big problems. This is very clear. Why wouldn't you eat fruits? I don't know, man. There's people out there. You know, you watch My Strange Addictions, this lady will be like, hey, I've only eaten chicken tenders since the age of 8. I'm 42 now. Oh, snap. Who dis? Skeletons! Skeletons. These skeletons don't wash their hands? I don't know if bacteria can grow on bones, so they might be safe. And now, what is a good cold remedy? I generally operate on the assumption that pretty much nothing is actually going to cure your cold. Like, once you got the cold, I think you're stuck with it. But what is the best cold remedy is anything that you can convince yourself is actually working. So, you know, if you feel like, you know, drinking copious amounts of orange juice makes you feel like you're getting better faster, then by all means, drink some orange juice. The placebo effect, some people look down on it, but I actually, I think it's a tool in your arsenal, man. I will say, though, when people are like, oh, man, I've got a cold, but don't worry, I drank like 2 liters of orange juice. I'm like, dog, that's like 2,500 calories worth of orange juice, and literally like 1 glass of orange juice is more vitamin C than you need for a week or something like that. I mean, it's not like the orange juice is literally entering your body to fight the disease. That's not how it works, but don't you know pathogens think OJ is totally icky and leave when you drink it? That's the truth, man. Pathogens think OJ didn't do it. Look, I'm not privy to all the details of the case, so I'm not going to get into that. I tried to make this joke on Kate's stream on Thursday when we were playing Dead by Daylight. And I was like, wouldn't it be fucked up if they just made like one of the alternate skins for the killer into OJ Simpson? That would cause a lot of controversy. Witness is killed, now just leave behind a glove that's slightly too small. Yo, dude, that's not cool. Yeah, but it was like 20 years ago, so it's funny now. Dan, what's up, man?
Things are changing.
Dan, I just want you to know, You hide behind your faith and your cross, and you will always be a Judas to me.
You will always be Judas in my house.
The Azatom says Dan is the greatest Big Brother contestant of all time. I don't know if that's true, because I was on BuzzFeed yesterday, and they said that he was only the second greatest contestant of all time, and that Danielle Reyes was actually the best contestant of all time. And they claim that CBS robbed her of her Season 3 victory because they showed the jury her manipulative tactics. But I don't know. Dan's got the actual results. Danielle's just got the theory, man.
Over the statue to the divine.
BuzzFeed said that Dr. Will was the third best contestant, but they also said that it was very difficult to rank Dr. Will and Dan. Like, they both... Oh my god, don't time him out. He's got to be able to respond. Untime out Dan. He's got to stand trial for his sins. They said it was tough to choose between Dr. Will and Dan. They both set the framework for what it means to truly play Big Brother, and to illustrate that in order to win, you gotta stab some people in the back. To be honest with you, like, I watched look, let's be honest. I don't have the time to watch, like, the whole season of Big Brothers, or both seasons of Big Brother that Dan was on, but I did watch the 3-hour supercut of him on Big Brother 10, and I gotta admit, after watching it, I'm, like, flattered that he wants to hang out with us, because Dan is a genius of frightening magnitude. But he, I wouldn't even say he was that manipulative in Season 10. I haven't seen Season 14 yet, but he's a mastermind. And I am honestly flattered that he hangs out with us now. I watched Big Brother 10, and Dan is a snake. Dude, you gotta do what you gotta do to win the game. But apparently in Season 14, it gets even more ridiculous. And Al must have been bored to watch the 3-hour cut. Dan, I'm not trying to grill you, man. I have actual incredible respect for the way that you played the game, and I mean that sincerely. I also saw a lot of myself in my interactions with you in the other housemates. Like when Rennie is like, how many women have you dated? And then you just start being like, well, what do you mean by dated? Do you mean like go to the movies? You mean go to dinner? And you just like keep flipping back her question with other questions, and then you never give her a straight answer. I had a great amount of sympathy for her in that moment, even more so because I knew the results of the game. I knew you were going to stab her in the freaking back, but I was like, this is how he interacts with me on a regular basis as well.
How many women have you dated?
Dated or girlfriend?
No, I said dated.
Well, I don't know. I mean, what's...
It's a simple question.
Well, I don't know. Dated is, I mean...
How many women did you call and you went out with, like, to be with her? Like, you actually wanted to take her for, you know, a sandwich or a dinner or something?
Okay, so would this include, like, meeting up at, like...
Oh, my God.
Would this include...
Nail me. Never mind.
Okay.
To be honest, I'm just glad you didn't watch Before We Met, Became Friends. It's a skewed version of reality. Oh, dude, it's a freaking game show. Like, I'm not judging you for your performance. I just have respect for the way that you played the game, man. If you go into the Big Brother house trying to be a, you know, super nice guy, don't get anybody wrong, you're gonna get quiche'd. You're gonna end up being in 4th place. There is a great moment in the supercut where, like, it's right after you win, like, the power of veto or something, so Jerry knows that he's screwed. And they just show him, like, taking off his pants and in his tighty whities, and he's just like, that was embarrassing. It was so good. It's like, I don't know why they had to include the moment where he takes off his pants and is just an old man in his underwear, but it really emphasized the moment.
Would this include, like, meeting up at the bar later or something like that?
Why is this like driving nails?
Because if you want to accurate answer...
I mean, why are you making more out of it than what it is?
I'm just trying to get your verbiage down. We just set the minimum for what we call dating.
We're not going to, you know what?
Like going out to dinners, is that the minimum?
We're not going to make the question like you want it, Dan.
I'm just asking so I can answer it.
You can answer it. How many women have you been with other than studying with or any type of school stuff? Okay? Have you been with?
Does it matter?
Don't cover your head with the pillow.
What do you mean by been with?
Oh, go suck an egg, Dan.
Dan, in all honesty, how do you think Cairo Cedro would do in the Big Brother house?
It was a good kill.
I think that he would be out like week 2.
There's a contract out on one of them. Which one?
Here's the deal with Cairo. If he can survive week 1, he wins the game. People will forget about how he's full-tempered and gets the job done. When it's all over, everyone will be gaped open.
And admire.
Don't fall victim to Dan's nonsense in chat. He's trying to mist you right now. In the words of the greatest Big Brother player of all time, you ever see someone light a fuse on a bomb and then just stand there and watch it go off? No, you gotta get out of there. That's what he's doing right now. He's lighting the fuse and getting out of there. He's trying to turn you guys into the next Ollie, flipping over barbecues and throwing shit at the head of household spy cam. You cannot fast travel when there's enemies nearby. Oh, you mean that guy? Just ignore the dragon? I'm not going to ignore the dragon. I'm going to murder the dragon. Just in the same way that Dan Gheesling murdered Keisha's hopes of winning at least $50,000 on Big Brother. Can I just say, look, again, it's a game. I want to just point out that when it comes to choosing who's going to be in the final 3 of Big Brother, Dan Gheesling says that they should let the 80-year-old man be in there because he has cataracts in his right eyes and probably won't be strong enough to do okay in the competition that actually leads to see who gets out of household. This is the guy we're dealing with here. He will stop at nothing to subjugate you. Dude, Jerry was an ass bag, though. Look, I only saw the supercut, so I don't know if that's true. I will say there were some times Jerry annoyed the crap out of me, though. Please, no more Big Brother references. All right, because I respect you, I'll avoid it. Is it like it's like PTSD? It's like you don't want to remember what happened within those 4 walls? Can I get your opinion on chip dip meta at a party? Do you prefer a small chip for dipping or a large chip for dipping? Get a small chip for dipping. That way, here's my problem, all right? You get a big old, Tostitos tortilla chip. You dip it in the salsa, as one is wont to do. You take a bite. You got 60% of your tortilla chip left, but you can't dip it back into the salsa or it's gross. And I agree, you shouldn't double dip. Regardless of the merits of it from a food safety perspective. If it grosses people out, you shouldn't do it. So I'm all about the small tortilla chip, medium salsa dip. You're not supposed to one bite an entire tortilla chip. That shit, you're gonna bite down on it wrong, and the soft parts of your mouth are gonna get cut up by the rigidness of the tortilla. That's just how it goes, baby. Don't try to tell me I don't know about the tortilla action here. How do you feel about scoop chips for dipping? I'm for them. I think it says a lot that we as a society have invented a chip that is better for dipping. One of man's great triumphs, in my opinion. Turn the chip around and dip the side you didn't eat. Look, honestly, that's okay. But if you do that at a party and you're there with like the mayor of your city, you might piss off some influential people. They'll be like, he double dipped, and they're not gonna care about your, oh, well, yeah, I double dipped, but I dipped from the end that my greasy hands were holding, not from the end that my greasy mouth touched, you know? You gotta worry about, how people perceive the way that you're doing your double dips. In the comfort of your own home, you can do whatever you please. But you know what we should actually do? Is instead of having one bowl of salsa, one big communal gross bowl of salsa, when you get to the party, they should give you a little styrofoam bowl or something like that, and then the salsa should have a ladle in it, and then you could ladle your own salsa into the bowl, carry it around with you. You could double dip to your heart's content. That solves the problem right there. Now, it does create a lot of dishes or garbage, but I'm 19 years old. What's my favorite movie? 19 years old, born in 1997. Formative years for a person, I would say, tend to be, 13 to 16. You were 16 in 2013. What would a 16-year-old kid in 2013, super love if they were, fancy themselves as an intellectual? I'm going to say that your favorite movie presently is Drive or Nightcrawler. Feel free to let me know. Could be Interstellar. Let me know. I mean, I feel like there's a lot of movies out there. For me to get 3 guesses seems fair to me. I'm 19 and that's pretty close. Those are pretty close. I'll take it. NL, I'm 17. What is my favorite book? Ready Player One. NL, I'm the same age as you. Nail my favorite movie or I nail you. 27 years old. Formative years would have been between the like 2001, 2006 range. Let's say that your favorite movie of all time. Maybe you're trying to get a little like adaptation. I don't know. I'm just guessing. I'm still a fetus. What's my favorite movie? Probably Tower Heist. Ryan, that's an X. My favorite book is The Outsiders. You know, that was my favorite book when I was a teenager as well. I'm 21. What's my favorite European capital? That's a good question. Maybe haven't traveled that much, but you want to seem a little exotic, so it's not going to be like a Rome or a London or a Paris. Probably like 21-year-olds, they're really into like Sweden, right? Stockholm? Is Stockholm your favorite European capital? I'm just making gross generalizations now. Prague? Oh yeah, you're right. I'm 21 and it's Prague. Fuck. My 2 favorite movies are Shaun of the Dead and Zombieland. How old am I?
Another body to get rid of.
Zombieland, that was like 2009, right?
A woman attacked right on the streets.
Shaun of the Dead was like 04. You gotta be like 26. I'm gonna say maybe 24. Maybe your older brother took you to see Shaun of the Dead when it first came out. He gave you his DVD when he went away to college. It had a formative experience on you. Not even close. I'm 17, but my 17-year-old brother did show me both of them. There you go. I was about 10% right. Ryan, my favorite food is fish and chips seasoned with vinegar and salt. I live in North America. Where do I live down to the city? I thought you were Canadian. So, I mean, fish and chips. Step 1, you go Nova Scotia. You probably go, I mean, a city in Nova Scotia is not really fair. Could also be New Brunswick, Prince Edward Island, PEI, Newfoundland. But it could be anywhere as well. That's the other thing. Fish and chips are our ubiquitous food. Newfoundland? Really? That's how we pronounce it up here. We say Newfoundland. We don't say Newfoundland. I've never heard it pronounced Newfoundland. Yeah, exactly. We don't say Newfoundland here. We say Newfoundland. For once, you fuckers are wrong about your pronunciation, and I'm gonna harp on it real nice and good like. Technically, it's not pronounced poutine. It's actually pronounced poutine. Maza sticks? Yeah, I forgot about that. The way Nick says it is so good. Maza. Maza faza. No, it's a matza. Give me some matza sticks. Can you please just say straight up mozzarella? You don't go, excuse me, sir. May I have, an appetizer of your finest mozzarella sticks, please? Your fried, breadcrumb-encrusted panko mozzarella sticks, if you would please be much obliged to me in this, fine establishment. You say, hey, shitlord, give me some fucking mozza sticks. And he says, hey, go fuck yourself. And you go, hey, how much? And then he goes, it'll be $10.50. Thanks for your patronage. That's how it works here. Yeah, mozzarella. That's exactly... Well, give me a pint of your finest mozzarella sticks, please. My favorite bands are 3 Days Grace and Metallica. How old am I? You know, it says 98 in your name. So I'm going to go out on a limb and say that you're actually 17 because you got a birthday that's in the second half of the year. Nailed it. LOL. Told ya. What's your favorite Eagles song? That's a great question. Hotel California is not my favorite Eagles song. I kind of hate it. No offense meant, of course. I know people feel very strongly about that song. There's Take It Easy, Witchy Woman. You know what? Maybe it's Desperado. I don't even like Desperado that much, but it could be Desperado. Jim West Desperado? That would be a great mashup if you could actually make it work. Wicked Wild Wild West, Jim West Desperado. It's a biracial crime fighting team from Wyoming. I don't know. It doesn't really work. If Dan's son is 1 day old, what's his favorite band? Probably the Eagles, if I'm being honest. Return to Castle Wolfenstein was my favorite game when I was a kid. Lord of the Rings was my favorite movie. How old am I? You are 29 years old. But, I mean, what do you mean Lord of the Rings is your favorite movie? There's 3 films in the Lord of the Rings universe? Excusez-moi? I went to Warped Tour in 2010 and saw A Day to Remember, The Devil Wears Prada, and Under Oath, How Old Am I? Probably 22, born in 1994. Old enough to go to Warped Tour, and old enough, or young enough to want to go to Warped Tour. Also, seeing The Devil Wears Prada for the first time, that is a day to remember. 23, close enough. Don't hate the player, hate the game. And now it's currently 110 degrees outside. Which state am I in? Definitely Arizona or Nevada. Arizona, you're right. NL, it's 8:33 where I live. Where am I? Are you in Newfoundland, Canada? It's a weird half-hour time zone discrepancy. My two favorite movies were released in 2009 and 2012 and were very well made and violent action adventures. What are they and how old am I? Okay. 2009 violent action adventure. 2012 violent action adventure. Is one of them Dread? I was thinking, what's that one? It's not The Room, it's the Raid. Was it The Raid? Hint, they were made by the same dude. Is it The Raid and The Raid 2 Redemption? They're made by the same dude. Oh, Inglourious Bastards and Django. Yo, Trev Newt, you nailed it. There's no way you did not nail it there. Right on the money. I knew it. Great instincts, Trev Newt. Great instincts. Now how old is he? Now how old am I? 2009. I'm going to say they were born in 1993. You're a 23-year-old young man. Real muddy man. I eagerly await your response. 1999. I'm 16 years old. You have no idea. First off, you're still a young man at 16. Don't let me tell you that you're not about to become an adult. But holy shit, Inglourious Bastards came out when you were 10. That shit is blowing my mind. But you know what? Good taste, for sure. I watched a quirky cult movie in 2010 in theaters, thought it was really good, but not amazing. Watched it again recently, and it's become my favorite movie. I'm 17. What movie is it? Okay. Quirky cult movie, 2010. Watched it again recently. It's become my favorite movie. Quirky cult movie, 2000. I have no idea. Quirky, I thought it was pretty good, but not amazing. Watched it again recently. It's become my favorite movie. I have no idea. Is it Moon? Is it Moon? That's what I'm going with. It's not. Moon's not really quirky, but it's a cult movie. That's an 09 or an 010. People love it on the internet. Oh, you know what? It could be Scott Pilgrim. Life Aquatic is not 2010. That's like a 2004 banger. Oh, Burn After Reading. Could be Burn After Reading. Ding, ding, ding. Scott Pilgrim is it. You know, I watched Scott Pilgrim when it came out, and I liked it a lot. And then I watched Scott Pilgrim again like 2 years ago, and I was like, maybe it was just in my youth that I liked it. I liked it a lot. My favorite movie is the original Godfather. My favorite album is Grace by Jeff Buckley. What age am I? You are a 22-year-old film student. Don't let me insult Grace, though. That's got the, you know, I wish I could do a good Jeff Buckley impression because I wouldn't be here making jokes for you, ding-dongs. I'd be making millions of dollars at Carnegie Hall. But, you know, obviously it's got Hallelujah on it, but it's also got, like, that opening track that's like, Black Beauty, I love you so. It's so good. And now my favorite movie is a comic book movie which was shat on by critics on cinema launch but is actually pretty good. I'm 18 years old. What is it? Your favorite movie's not Spider-Man 3, is it? Or is it like, are you getting like super pretentious and your favorite movie is actually Ang Lee's 2003 version of the Hulk? Because I don't buy it. It can't be Green Lantern. There is no way that... Oh, Watchmen? It wasn't shat on critics. That movie's like certified fresh. It wasn't shat on by critics. That was shat on by the audience that watched it and then said, oh, big blue dick, big blue dick. If my favorite movie is Gladiator, my favorite comic book movie is X2, how old am I? I'm going to say that you're actually a little bit on the older side from myself personally. I'm going to say that you're 29 years old. Watchmen has a 65 on Rotten Tomatoes. That's fine. As far as compared to the rest of Zack Snyder's filmography, that should be considered like a fucking Oscar-worthy performance. Ryan, what do you think my favorite movie is? All right, this is a great question. Austin, I'm gonna give it the old college try here. I'm gonna distill everything I know about your personality. So we're gonna start by defining a range. Austin is 23 years old. That would make him 23 or 24. So he's born in like 93 roughly. So his formative years were gonna be like 2008 to 2012. What would he watch in 2008 to 2012 that he really likes? Keep in mind, what else does he like? Dad rock. Austin's good old-fashioned American boy. He likes good old-fashioned American movies. But he's also got a little bit of a sci-fi twist in there. 2008 to 2012 sci-fi. Originally, I was going to say Moon, but I've decided that Moon is maybe a little too under the radar for Austin. You know, if you're only seeing like 10 movies a year, I don't know if Moon ends up making it in there. I think it's got to be something a little bit, it's like a Love Actually with sci-fi elements released between 2008 and 2012. I'm going to say that your favorite movie is Zombieland. 2009 horror comedy, mainstream, with a little bit of a freaky bend to it. Dads like Zombieland too. I'll say your criteria was spot on. So that's a start. But it's not Zombieland, it's District 9. Yo, I was... You have to admit, although I was incorrect, I was so close with the criteria. It's a 2009 sci-fi film that dads love as well. District 9 is a great movie. I saw that movie by myself in theaters, and I didn't regret a single second of it. NL talks to chat and occasionally remembers he's playing District 9. That's why, like, sometimes I go into the comments of these Skyrim episodes, and I go, like, what the fuck? People are, like, in the comments, they're like, what is this guy actually doing? And I'm like, oh, right, remember, like, if you're not watching these on Twitch, this content is probably a lot less desirable. Did I say playing District 9? Whatever, playing Skyrim, whatever. NL, my favorite movies are Enter the Void and Eraserhead. Okay, you're like 25. Darkuz, I'm banking on you being 25, but nobody's favorite movie is Eraserhead. Look, Eraserhead it did some great things for cinema. I like David Lynch, but at the same time, it's like, come on, Eraserhead is your favorite movie? If you could only have like one movie to watch for the rest of your life, it would be Eraserhead. You're gonna be on the desert island watching Eraserhead. I'm 22, and no, it would be Enter the Void, you dummy. Alright, okay. Fair enough, you got me. Rank Pixar movies? I mean, they're all masterpieces, but for my money, maybe it's just me, but for me, you gotta put Cars 2 on the top. NL, I'm a British guy who likes comic comedies. Everybody calls me a hipster. Oh, what's your favorite movie? It's gotta be The Thick of It. The Thick of It is the British comedy for English hipsters. Released in 2010. If it was a 2008 or a 2012 banger, I probably would have said that it was one of the Cornetto trilogy, but it's got to be The Thick of It. Bonus round, 2 favorite comedies, 2004, 2007, made by the same dude. Easiest shit of all time. That's Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz, written and directed by Edgar Wright. One of my favorite movies is a 1998 action drama picture set in France. What is it and how old am I? I actually have no idea. I'm 27. I like this game. YouTube's gonna hate it, though. I'm 27. 2 favorite movies were both in 2010, about 6 months apart. They're both sci-fi mysteries. Holy shit. I actually have no idea. I'm assuming one of them is Moon, though. It's hard for me, because, like, chat is pretty active. I'm trying to brag. Oh, yeah, Inception's gotta be one of them. You're right. I'm not trying to brag, but chat moves pretty fast. It's hard for me to remember the name of the person who said it to get feedback afterwards. I'm 30 and I've been subbed to you for 36 months. What's my favorite movie? Probably Anchorman, The Legend of Ron Burgundy. Shutter Island and Inception. Why don't you just get a picture of Leonardo DiCaprio and save yourself the 20 bucks at your local multiplex? NL, my favorite movie is a 2009 science fiction film that takes place on Earth's only natural satellite. What is it? That's gotta be Apollo 17. Bonus round, my favorite 2 Russell Crowe movies came out in 2000 and 2005. What are they? I would say, I don't know, maybe Gladiator and then Master and Commander. But I don't know what Master and Commander I thought was like an 02 jam or an 03 banger. I think it's 03 actually. So now I'm confused about what 05 Russell Crowe movies there are. Oh, Cinderella Man. I forgot about Cinderella Man. I'm actually like still a little offended that I got Austin's favorite movie wrong. It actually like burns me deep inside of my soul. I'm done with movie games, okay? We've done enough movies. That's it. Movies are over. We could do some Would You Rathers instead. I'm not gonna rank my co-hosts by the size of their penises. That's private information that only I have access to. And I'm not gonna out them like that. Would you rather move to Veracruz and work as a tour guide for the rest of your life, Or would you rather not? I would rather not. Would you touch a poop for $5? Absolutely not. Would you touch a poop for $500? Probably, yes. People are like, why don't you just touch the poop then wash your hands? You people, you have to have standards. Why don't you touch a poop for 2 cents then? I'll just wash my hands after. I don't think $5 is the right price. At least it's not the right price for me to touch a poop. If you want to touch a poop for free, then by all means, go for it. Don't let me stop you. Are we talking about a one-time deal? If I can only touch the poop once and get paid in a lump sum, I don't know where my line is. If you were like, I'll give you $250 if you touch this poop, you can wash your hands right after, I'd be like, sold, I'm in. That's not a hard task. If you were like, hey, we're gonna give you a job, twice an hour, you gotta touch this poop, you can wash your hands right after. How much would it cost me? I don't know. Or how much would it cost you, I guess? You have to do it once just for the experience? This makes no sense. Can I use rubber gloves to touch the poop? I do think that perhaps flies in the face of the spirit of the deal. Would you wake up every morning to a man peeing on your face for $400? I don't think that's worth it, no. Not for me personally. There are worse jobs, though. Would you reach out and touch Faith for $5? I wouldn't touch Faith Hill for $5,000. That's a joke. She seems like a nice lady. But she'd have to be okay with it first. I would reach out and experience tranquility for $5. Tim McGraw would need to be okay with it too? I don't give a shit what Tim McGraw thinks about anything. He said it himself, live as if you're dying. If someone peed on your face every day for $400, that equals $145,600 a year. I would do it for a year. Nah, dog, because then once you got there, you know, you'd start living your lifestyle the way you'd become accustomed to with this man peeing on your face. You'd be like, I'm just going to do it for a year. But then you'd be like, oh, maybe should I get a Mercedes? And then you get a Mercedes. You're like, shit, I'm making payments on this thing. Should I buy a house? And then you get a house, you got a 20-year mortgage. All of a sudden, that dude's pissing on your face for the rest of your life just to enable the lifestyle that you didn't even know you desired. Might still be worth it, though. I feel like Rob would do it for like $50 a day. I feel like Rob would actually do it for like $10 a day. I don't know how low he would go, but I think he would go low. And then his defense would just be like, it's $60, you know? You go touch the poop, and then you pees on your face, you go take a shower, then you get on with your day. That's an easy job. You gotta negotiate, though. You gotta be like, if this fucking weirdo wants to pee on my face and pay me, he's gonna have to pay through the nose. Would you take $60 million, but a man murders you on your 60th birthday? Probably not, you know? When you're young, you got all the time in the world, not enough money. But when you're old, man, you gotta respect that time is the one thing you can't buy. At least right now. Can you employ measures to stop the killer? No, this is not in keeping with the spirit of the deal. It's not, because otherwise, this is the problem with you people. You're always trying to find the loopholes. Well, I build a $40 million fortress that is impenetrable to the killer. No, you can't do that. You gotta, the whole spirit of the question is, what's more valuable to you? You know, being wealthy or perhaps having a longer life? It's like when people ask you like a would you rather sort of question, it's not really like, hey, smart man, find the best way to get out of this problem. What you do is you gotta figure out what you value in life. Why make it a murderer then? Why not just say, but you die on your 60th birthday? If that makes you feel better about the question is just there conceptually to test, you know, what you actually value in life. And now, would you pay an increasing amount of money every year after 75 to stay alive, starting at $100,000? Probably, like, as long as I could afford to. As long as the quality of life was okay. Like, I think I'd give up whatever I could within reason to get more time on this great earth. And hell, you get $100 a day every time you wake up, Ethan Bradbury shouts slamming into your ear as loud as he can. I would actually rather get pissed on, I think. And I mean that sincerely. Like, I think not only would that be obviously irritating, I think it could do, like, some long-term damage to my hearing. In all likelihood, getting pissed on is just gonna be kind of gross, you know, for my personal taste. But the slamming thing could do some real damage. And now you get $250 a day. but instead of going to sleep, you get KO'd with a knockout punch from Sylvester Stallone. No, that's a horrible deal. I would definitely have, like, you know, CTE after, like, a month of that. Would you play Undertale every day for the rest of your life for $500 a day? I mean, it's one of those things you'd be like, that'd be pretty dope. Maybe even for, like for the first, like, couple of months, you'd be like, this is the greatest job ever. And then by, like, the 6th month, you'd be like, I'm getting pretty fucking sick of Undertale. And by, like, year 10, you'd be like, I think I would rather do anything else. So for the rest of my life, no. I'm not looking down on it. It's a better job offer than most people are going to get in this economy, and I appreciate it. But assuming it's like a full-time gig, not really what I'm interested in. I'm assuming it's 8 hours of Undertale a day. You know, I want to... Well, 7 hours and a 1 hour lunch break. I want to put it like a solid day. See, you guys are finding freaking loopholes again. That's my problem. Why is everyone trying to find loopholes all the time? You understand the spirit of the question. You're smart people. Would you play an hour of Virtual Bart every day for $20? I'm not being sarcastic. I would rather work a minimum wage job for an hour every day, get paid less, and not play Virtual Bart. Not all video games are a joy to play. What if it was the tomato game? The tomato game is the only one that even is like close to half decent. Tomato game lasts for 20 minutes, then it's back to the fucking wheel. That's exactly right. And then you're the pig or the dino again. I think pig is worse than dino, honestly. Like, dino's bad, but at least it's like a game. The pig game is actually purgatory in digital form. The music, it never leaves my brain. Even now, in this, my most mentally calm moment. It's so bad. I've been playing the pig game on and off for like, I guess like 16 years at this point, and I've never beaten it. To the best of my knowledge, at least. And then there's the baby one. The baby one goes. It's so bad. Yeah, I'll never forget you, whatever. Probably a good time to quick save. What if you had to jack it at least 3 times a day for $300 a day? That's basically a 6-figure job to jack it 3 times a day, something a lot of people are probably already doing for free. I would say that that's probably going to be a deal where you're going to get a lot of applicants. We need a Cobalt raid stream with Virtual Bart, Rocco's Modern Life, and Karnov. The thing is, like, Rocco's Modern Life and Karnov are just not good. Like, those are games that are just not any fun to play. Virtual Bart, I do think, has redeeming elements. NL, for 3 gold bars a day, would you play Dead Money in its entirety every single day? Absolutely. If this comes down to 3 gold bars being like bare minimum 3 grand. I don't know how much a gold bar is, but it's gotta be at least 1 ounce. 1 ounce of gold is like $1 grand. Would you accept $1,000 a day to never jack off again, at penalty of death by acid? So, I mean, I thought the penalty would just be that you would lose your job. $1,000 a day to never jack off again at penalty of death by acid. Here's the thing. Eventually, you would have so much money that $1,000 doesn't matter to you, functionally speaking. Quality problem to have. I think, look, I'm saying it's a great job, but at some point you would reach a point where you're like, I'm a millionaire. Every day, my net worth only increases by like 0.05%. I'd really give that up just to jerk off today. I'm not saying me, I'm saying someone in this deal. How much money would you need given to you to smoke your own shit? Man, that is a great question. I do not have an answer.
Are we alone?
Why did you eat off of tinfoil? Alright, so chat wants to get personal and they want to attack me, which is fine, I can take it. One person in chat, I think it was, you know, I'm gonna let them out themselves, I'm not gonna out them. That's their personal call if they want to. They said, you know, as an adult, they still only eat off of paper plates, which I found Surprising would be absolutely one way that I put it. I describe it as like a little bit of a savage strike, honestly. They said that they eat off of paper plates and cutlery at all times. You know, plastic forks, plastic knives, plastic spoons, etc., etc. And this, to me, I said, is absurd. As an adult, how can you get away with that? They said they have a second set of actual dishware or silverware that they use when, like, real people come over, like people they want to impress or at least not disappoint immensely. And I did say that, you know, there were some times in college where, you know, you don't want to wash a plate, you're too lazy, or maybe you're even a little passive-aggressive about it, so you go, oh, well, it's Jennifer's turn to do the dishes, so I'm not going to do the dishes. I'll just eat my sandwich off of this tinfoil. Or just, like, eat it over my desk or something like that. So, I mean, I was saying that I've been there, but I graduated from that as an adult. But then, you know, if you continue to live like that as an adult, I guess I have to understand... Oh, I have to accept, I suppose, that you've thought it through. But for me, I'm not that kind of guy. In college, we would hang our tea bags on the washing line. You can reuse those things like 100 times, life-changing. That's actually like the perfect definition of college. Because, you know, what does it take to... Like, financially, what does a tea bag cost? 10 cents? It costs next to no money whatsoever. But you don't have any money in college. What you do have is, most of the time, even if you're in college right now and you're like, I'm busy, I promise you, your time will dry up even more so as you get older. And that's not to say that you're not in a difficult program or anything like that. I'm just saying, you got all the time, you got none of the money. So you can afford to do things like hanging your tea bags up on the washing line. Takes, you know, an extra 10 minutes per tea bag, but it saves you 10 cents, and that's a good value proposition. Look, okay, the argument for the paper plates thing, I'm not trying to make you feel bad at all. If you want to live your life, you know, this way, you've made your bed, it's time to, like, lie in it, right? But the argument against paper plates is not that it's not saving you time. It definitely saves you time to not have to do dishes, even if you have to, you know, pick up paper plates while you're at the grocery store. I think the argument is more from, like, a waste standpoint. It's, like... It's quite wasteful from, like, an environmental and, you know, like, resource standpoint. If you're okay with that, like, I'm not gonna be like, hey, you're a piece of garbage, you know? I'm just saying that's the principal argument. It's not a time saver or anything like that. Or it's not that it's not a time saver, I should. This guy is a freaking menace, man. Anyway, I wonder what percentage of people out there, like, just eat on paper plates and say, I don't ever want to do dishes. Or they eat on, like, you know, paper towels or something like that. Cutting the pizza is a waste of time and plastic knives. Hold up. You eat your pizza without cutting it? I may cut the pizza in half for 2 pieces. Alright, so what people are saying is, like, you know, pizzas normally come pre-cut. Clearly we're talking about frozen pizzas here in this situation. But you cut the frozen pizza into 2 pieces? I've always taken it... The frozen pizza, you cut it because it's way more convenient to eat when it's a single slice. If you're rolling up a full frozen pizza and eating it like a fucking pizza burrito, that scares the shit out of me. That is horrifying. Dunkachino, thank you for the subscription. I really wish I could do a good Al Pacino impression. That's one that's got to be in the repertoire, but I haven't gotten it for myself yet. What's my name? That's my Al Pacino impression. I'm Al Pacino. She's got a great ass. I kind of pulled away at the last moment there. And your head was all the way up it. Do Owen Wilson? This could be the whole show. Just suggest celebrities, and I'll do impressions, and we'll figure out if there's actually, like, some that I know that I don't know that I can do that I can. My Owen Wilson impression is really bad. It's really bad. Wow. I can't do a Woody Harrelson impression. I don't even know what a Woody Harrelson impression would be like. Like, that's my Woody Harrelson impression. That doesn't make any sense. I've seen Woody Harrelson in movies. It's like white Mike Tyson. I've seen Woody Harrelson in movies, but I can't hone in on the elements that would allow me to do a Woody Harrelson impression.
Good.
How about Jack Nicholson? Jack Nicholson's like a coked up Christian Slater. You were born for impersonating the voice of Scottish superstar Sean Connery? My Sean Connery impression is not very good. In fact, I am not a crook. This is Sean Connery doing an impression of former U.S. President Richard Milhouse Nixon.
I don't know where you find your sources, but that last shipment of scuba was some of the best quality I've seen in years.
Just got lucky is all.
I feel like I could do a pretty good Delvin Mallory impression.
Well, if you like, I'll be happy to take over
If you
the
like,
operation for you.
I'd be happy to take it over the operation for you. Take it off your hands. Give it a sec, give it a sec. Keep going, man.
Oh, that
You must be lost. Best scurry off while you're still able. Nah.
How now, fella? Let's not get too close to my new bride, eh?
What is... Now, fellow, don't get too close to my new bride, okay? Her name is Pamela. I'll take her back to glorious nation of Kazakhstan. She will be the queen of the potassium mill. Look, I'm not doing a racist impression. I'm doing an impression of Borat. Sacha Baron Cohen is the dang racist. Do you have a Gilbert Gottfried impression? Not really, because I think it would shred my throat. I'm Gilbert Gottfried! Like, it's the Adam Sandler impression if he was like a chain smoker. Sounded like Little Nicky. Your skin tastes like coconut. That's Michael A. L. Fox says Little Nicky. Chad, I've been working on a Kelsey Grammer impression, aka Fraser Crane. I need you to be honest with me. How is my Fraser Crane impression? I'm gonna do it now. I'm a little nervous. Niles! Something like that. Niles! Is that, give me like an out of 10 on that one. If you need to hear it one more time, it'll be like, Niles! Something like that. It's okay, shit. Pardon me, amazing. Not perfect, no. Too forceful. 4 out of 10, 3.5. Oh, damn it. Niles. What about that? Angry Fraser needs work, but what about like calm Fraser? Can you give us more than one word? Daphne! Daphne. Better. Okay, Quiet Fraser Crane is slightly better. If the NLSS crew were all different people named Fraser, who would be who? Oh man, that's a tough one. I mean, I would be Fraser from Video Games Awesome because we're both from Canada and also bald. And then... I mean, I could also be Fraser Crane. I think out of anybody in the NLSS, I probably fit the Fraser Crane mold the most, which is not being very flattering to myself necessarily. What do you mean Nick is Fraser Crane? Look, let's all be real here. Nick is Niles. If we had to be members of the Fraser cast, Nick would be Niles for sure. Rob is Brendan Fraser? Dude, that is actually 100% correct. In a survival situation, which member of the NLSS would be the first to turn to cannibalism? Probably me, to be honest with you. Why do I think I'd be the first to convert to cannibalism? I think that I tend to fancy myself as like a realist, and if we were like really in a survival situation, I would be like, well, we might as well just like eat somebody, especially if they're already dead, because otherwise we're not going to get out of here. Which one has the most interest in eating human flesh? I agree with you, Chet. It's Rob. There's 100%. In a survival situation, Mathis would be the first to get eaten. It's possible. He would also be like 100% in for the cannibalism, though, I feel. I think NL would be eaten first. They'd have to fucking, you know, take my life through my cold, dead hands, I'll tell you that much. I would fight till the last with gnashing teeth and clawing nails. But to be honest with you, I wouldn't want to be in a survival situation with the NLSS crew. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't think we have the internal strength and fortitude in order to survive this situation. Can you do a Matthew McConaughey impression? All right, this is Matthew McConaughey. He's your voice, because it's too easy to just do all right, all right, all right. So what if you did Matthew McConaughey as the voice of your GPS, and is urgently telling you you're going in the wrong direction? Turn right, turn right, turn right. And now I've never asked you to do a voice, so can you do Mike Tyson? You know what? You get one voice per lifetime. Do not miss your chance to blow. I'm going to tell you straight up, my Mike Tyson's pretty bad, but it'll be something like this. Yeah, you know, I used to be a big old boxer, but now I've reformed myself from being a near-attempted murderer with my fists, you know, the hydrogen bombs given to me by the gift of God himself. I stopped trying to murder children, now I try to raise children. Something like that. It's a little half-assed. I haven't decided how I would want to characterize Mike Tyson either. Whether I would want to go straight to him having, like, nuclear missiles attached to his hands, or whether I'd want to be like, you know, it's just not a good impression. Hey, I'm walking here. Exactly. It's not an impression until you say, hey, I'm walking here. Yeah, don't patronize me. The whole point of doing these impressions that I'm not familiar with is to learn if maybe there's one that I'm surprisingly very good at that I've just never tried. But I think Mike Tyson is probably not one of them. Oh, that's bullshit. You could legit work on that Mike Tyson. It would be like a 6 out of 10. I feel like for me, the beauty of the Mike Tyson impression would be subverting the character of Mike Tyson as like a, you know, a violent man. And instead making him just like somebody who's like really into Pano Chocolat or something like that, you know? I like to get into the minutia of a character like that, because the voice is just, it's never going to be good. I think. I don't have the skeletal structure in my pharynx to get that Tyson voice, but I can characterize him in a ridiculous fashion at least. I haven't played Overwatch since before E3, and honestly I miss it. I do. But I'm cognizant of the fact that if I ever start playing Overwatch again, I'm going to play it like 2 hours a night for the foreseeable future. So Overwatch is like a fine wine. Once I start playing it, I can't stop. No, I'm not going to start playing League of Legends or Dota. I can't play any game with like a high skill ceiling like that. It sounds like bragging. Whenever people are like, I'm too busy to do this, it's like they're implicitly bragging. But like, I treat time as like a currency now, and I'm like, man, with that 2 hours a night, I could actually like accomplish stuff that might extend the length of my lifespan a little bit, you know? I could spend time with like my wife and my cats. I could just like not play video games, which is nice as well. Like, I have a little time deficit these days that I try to work around. Those games are fantastic and they're good time sinks, but that's what's dangerous about them as well. It always happens, like, even with Overwatch it happened a little bit. Like, I started playing it and then I started, like, researching the competitive meta. And I was like, instead of doing this, I could just, like, learn an actual skill. Like, you know, it's a lifelong hobby, but, like, I'm still learning programming. I'm like, instead of learning, you know, which heroes counter McCree, I could be reading documentation about how to, like, you know, set up an SQL connection and query in C#. And it's like a fairly similar process. NL, would you rather eat 5 McDoubles or 1 McDodeca? This is a great question because it really hits to a lot of kind of nuance in like gluttony. Like, just think about this. 1 McDodeca at first seems better because there's like 20% as many buns, right? However, I don't know, like from a morale standpoint, I have to imagine 5 McDoubles, you could spread that out over like a couple hours and feel okay about it, whereas if you eat 1 10-patty burger, that's ridiculous. Like, that from a morale standpoint is hard. The fact that you have yet to fix the lockpicking bug drives me nuts. You know what? I choose to live my life like there's no tomorrow. I choose to live my life in a suboptimal fashion on purpose because I think it builds character, honestly. I'm a firm believer that, you know, life is never going to be perfect. It's only through becoming acclimated to imperfections that we can achieve true happiness. Or at least contentedness. Mostly it's just an attitude that enables my laziness from time to time, but... NL, you are so full of shit sometimes. That's bullshit, man. If you aspire to live a perfect life, why you watch this stream right now? You could be busy doing push-ups. You know? You could be busy learning theoretical physics. We've only got a set amount of time on this planet Earth. Everyone embraces this to some extent. It's just a matter of how much you would recognize it. Who says I'm not doing push-ups while watching the stream? Well, okay, well, you could be watching the stream, or you could be watching another piece of transformative media while doing push-ups. Like, why are you watching me do this when you could be, you know, using Rosetta Stone to learn how to speak Tagalog or something? Tagalog. I'm learning data structures right now. Yo, that's actually dope. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. Being aware of your laziness does not, in fact, make it any better. I think it does, actually. I disagree with you. And I mean that sincerely. Like, I'm not, like, displeased or anything like that, but I do disagree with you. Because I think, you know, there's a productiveness to laziness. You know, you want to, like, build muscle? You can't just be working out all the time. The body needs rest in order to, like, effectively engage in hypertrophy. Hypertrophy? You know what I mean. The building of muscle. You need rest. The human body needs rest from time to time, and I think psychologically the human body needs some time to relax as well. So I think as long as your laziness allows you to be more productive in the future, that's productive laziness. You should write a philosophy book, NL. I wouldn't write a philosophy book or any book because I wouldn't read it. Like, if I went to a bookstore and I was like, this fucking, you know, video game YouTuber wrote a book about philosophy, I'm not gonna read that. So I would, you know, I would never write that. If I'm being honest, like, I'm probably one of the most humble people I know, like, to a fault. I'm too humble to write a book, I think. It's a problem. Can you and Dan Gheesling write a philosophical version of Outliers? Malcolm Gladwell is smarter than both of us combined. But sure, yeah. I don't think Dan gets enough credit for being a genius, you know. People think he's, like, just a meme lord. He's a genuine smart man as well. I mean, he's an idiot, but we all are. Was that meant to be ironic? Yes, it was. But yeah, look for my book. I really think that print media's in a position where it's going to take off, so I was thinking about diversifying into that. Look for my book on store shelves where books are still sold. 2035. First draft is due before my 40s. And I'll start a newspaper. I was thinking of starting like a really niche magazine. Really feel like the magazine business is primed to explode this year. NL would probably be better off making audiobooks. Yeah, Kate and I were talking about that the other day. Like, she's been a little bit on this Audible kick. And I'm like, man, I mean, I'm one to talk, but that seems like a sweet job. Not like it's, I mean, I understand it's not that easy to just, like, do voice work. It's not like you're just chilling out all day. But at the same time, not only do you get to read these awesome books, but you get paid for it as well. I don't want to cut into Bear's market share, though. And now, what's your favorite question to be asked about your favorite from a particular category of things? Oh my god. To be honest with you, I really like ranking things. And I'll tell you why. It's a good comedy framework, because you can define your own criteria. There's lots of potential for argumentation, despite the fact that it's completely inconsequential. And I think it leads to some hilarious discussion. It's got like a good sandbox in order to kind of... in order to play around with from a comedy perspective. If I was a comedian, I would take notes from NL, honestly. You shouldn't, because, I mean, I'm taking notes from comedians, so it's like it's being diluted in transit every single time. But, you know, I appreciate that. It's basically a roundabout way to call me funny. Like a clown, I amuse you. I appreciate it. A lot of, depending on your style, a lot of streaming, you know, has... crossover skills with improv for sure. I think we try to emphasize that on the NLSS. You know, we're a little bit of a goofy show. Mostly don't just like virtually shoot people in the heads and then call them pejoratives over top of it. And I think we've done a pretty good job of that. I was once at a party where a dude broke a toaster over another dude's head. See, that's like, in a way, even more shocking than just breaking a bottle or something like that. Because a bottle is made out of glass. A toaster is like metal or hard plastic. You gotta hit that with some serious force in order to break the goddamn toaster. Breaking a glass bottle is not easy. I mean, it would do a lot of damage if you did it over somebody's face. I'm not disputing that. I'm just saying, like, a toaster. If I knocked a toaster off of my counter, I wouldn't expect it to break.
Made it out alive, at least.
He tossed it down a staircase, and it basically broke in two and a shower of crumbs. That's pretty gross. Rank the ages from 1 to your age. I'm not going to do that, but that's a great discussion for the NLSS. I just feel like I couldn't drive it entirely myself, you know? It's a little too masturbatory, but to have Nick on there, I think we could have conflicting opinions and we could have an interesting discussion. Like the Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory thing blew my mind. People think Augustus Gloop is the #1, like, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory child, because he knows what he wants and he goes for it. Come on. It's nonsensical. Charlie is obviously, even if you don't like Charlie, you gotta admit he's #1. He won the day. And since you are Canadian, are you more French or British? I was from not the French-speaking part of Canada, so I'm definitely more British. But, like, beyond that, people are always like, what's your ancestry? And I'm like, Canadian. And then they're like, no, but, like, where are your grandparents from? And I'm like, Canada. And they're like, where are your great-grandparents from? I'm like, oh, Canada. And they're like, okay, what about, like, where was your blood originally, you know, formed in the fires of conception? And I'm like, well, like 5 generations back, I had one British great-grandparent. And they're like, okay, so you're British. Why didn't you just say it? But we're actually, like, I have, like, the most pure Canadian DNA as basically possible to have. All I'm saying is if there's ever a race war, people are going to hold me up as, like, a level of Canadian purity. You're lucky that Canadians are largely a non-violent race, and we're okay with, you know, everything. But if it ever happens, they're going to be like, damn, that dude has, like, 100% Canadian blood coursing through his veins. Will you be the figurehead of our movement? And I'll be like, no, I'm not going to be the figurehead of your movement because it's based on bigotry and ignorance. Oh, it says, no, you're not Aboriginal. Okay, you have a great point. I didn't mean to be insensitive there. Not to be a jerk, but look at your French-Canadian family name. I mean, it's true, but, like, that's in the distant past. Like, it's not a French-Canadian name. I'm pretty sure it actually comes from, like, actual France. And then, at some point in my distant past, obviously, there's some French intermarrying. Canada can't win any sports because they put fucking ham on pizza. Like, I actually didn't know that ham on pizza was weird, but we do that in Canada all the time. It tastes delicious. Is ham on pizza weird? Because it's so normal here that I did not even notice it being weird. Like, it never even dawned on me that it could possibly be considered strange until Sinvicta was like, anybody that puts ham on pizza is a fucking idiot. Like, I didn't realize that in America, you know, some meats are off limits to put on pizza. Sinvicta, chat's turning on you, man. Did you know Hawaiian pizza was actually invented in Canada? Oh, Sinvicta. Even other Americans are going, what are you doing here? It's nonsensical. Ham on pizza is an American classic. Let's make it worse by putting pineapple on pizza. You Americans have such a narrow view on cuisine. Who cares what people put on their pizza, though? I agree with that. Even when I was in Korea, you know, they'll put mustard on their pizza, mayonnaise, not just potatoes, but sweet potatoes, corn. These are, like, all really common toppings. And you're still like, this is a little weird, but it's still pizza. Like, I would take, like, a pepperoni pizza over a sweet potato and mustard pizza any day of the week. But, it was still okay. Don't they eat pickles with pizza in Korea? Yeah, that... maybe I've never talked about that on the show. If you go to, like, a pizza place... there's, like, a chain... There's Pizza Huts and stuff like that. But there's a chain there called Mr. Pizza. And they give you, like, a side of sweet pickles if you order pizza. But then also, when I lived in Daegu, which is, like, the 3rd largest city, at, like, several million people, there was, like, a fancy kind of, like, boutique Italian restaurant that opened. And one time I went there and I was like, yeah, I'll have, like, a, you know, prosciutto pizza or whatever it was. And then when it came out, they still gave me a side of pickles. It's not even, like, just a weird thing. That's just normal. It's like, if you go to a restaurant where you're paying, like, $30 for food, you're getting a side of fucking pickles, I'll tell you that much. Why pickles? I honestly have no idea. I don't dislike pickles either. I don't really like sweet potatoes. I'm more of, like, a dill man myself, but, you know, far be it from me to criticize it. It's a little unusual by our standards, but more power to them, I guess, you know? You don't like sweet potatoes? What kind of person are you? First off, I reject the premise of the question that not liking sweet potatoes is weird. I think that's fairly normal, especially if you grow up and you're eating, like, exclusively in the potato family regular potatoes, you know, russets, let's say. And then you taste the sweet potato. I think it's fairly natural to be like, this is weird. But I actually like sweet potatoes. I just don't like sweet potatoes on pizza very much. I don't like regular potatoes on pizza very much. Only recently, at least up here, have sweet potatoes become kind of a, you know, a food that's more popular, you know, as kind of like a slow carb version of the regular potato and also as an alternative to regular fries. So, you know, give it a while for attitudes to change, I think, and we'll see how it happens. I'd order sweet potatoes on pizza. That's strange. I mean, it's strange by Western sensibilities. If you go to Seoul, you're not going to have any problems finding a pizza buddy to get the same toppings as you. Pierogi pizza is fucking dope. I've never had pierogi pizza, but I'm extremely pro pierogies. A couple of years ago, I went to the doctor, and then they were like, you know, you seem relatively healthy, but your blood sugar is a little bit on the high side of normal, you know, for someone of your age and other statistics. What's going on with that? Like, what is your diet like? And I was like, well, you can get like a kilogram of frozen pierogies at the grocery store for like $3. So I've been eating a lot of pierogies. And she's like, yeah, cut that out. Don't eat so many pierogies. That's how much I like pierogies. I nearly gave myself type 2 diabetes from consuming them. Now pierogies are a sometimes food. I agree, it's a lot of carbs. It's pretty much the antithesis of like a healthy meal, you know? It's dough and potatoes, cheese, and then like a pork product. There's like a little protein, a medium amount of fat, and an awful lot of carbohydrates. Your doctor always puts you on blast, NL? Yo, I don't surround myself with yes men. I want people to be honest with me. If my doctor says, hey, stop eating pierogies, you're gonna, you know, your foot's gonna become gangrenous in like 15 years. I'll be like, shit, I like pierogies, I don't like them that much. I never understood that people were like, you know, hey, my doctor says I gotta change my life. So I got a second opinion, you know? Now I got a much better doctor. I like that my doctor's proactive. If it's Polish, why is it popular in North America? Yeah, I think pierogies are just one of those foods that, you know, are ubiquitous. They're delicious. It's like pizza. You know, it's spread over the entire world as a result of its own delicious merits. I wish I could have a ravioli-only diet. Yeah, dude. I'm with you. Like, I'm not much of a pasta man, but, you know, stuffed pastas, raviolis, all-time classics. I just got on what the fuck's a pierogi. A pierogi is basically a dumpling. Do you know what a gyoza is? Or if you go to, like, a Japanese or a Chinese restaurant, if you ordered a dumpling. It is dough, inside of which is a filling, usually made of mashed potatoes and a form of cheese. And then it's sealed up and boiled, fried, or baked. Yo, there should be no debate. Pierogies are freaking delicious. You don't need to have a discussion about it. Just go eat one. I can't imagine not liking pierogies, even if you're a picky eater. What, do you not like dough? Do you not like mashed potatoes? Do you not like cheese? I had one friend, he didn't like pizza. But I always thought that maybe he was just trying to get, like, the credit for not liking pizza. Like, he just wanted to be, like, a hipster. Because he also was like, you know, my favorite fruit? Fucking lemons, dude. Hook me up. Just give me a lemon, no problem. Vegans, dog. Well, obviously, if you're vegan, you should know that pierogies aren't for you. Was it Nick? No. But Nick reminds me of him. And he also said he likes eating lemons. Which I think is just, there must have been some kind of conference for these people where they said, hey, you just go back to your hometowns and tell everybody you like to eat lemons. It'll really fuck them up. Do you know what a square sausage is, though? I have no idea what a square sausage is, honestly. It's a sausage that is square. Is this an American thing? That seems like it would be an American thing. They'd be like, in the Midwest, we make our sausages squares. What's your policy on Scrapple? Not the board game Scrabble, but the food item. Scrapple. I don't know what Scrapple is. What is Scrapple? Scrapple, also known as pan haws or pan rabbit, a traditionally mush of pork scraps and trimmings combined with cornmeal and wheat flour and spices. The description of that sounds horrible, but I bet it's delicious. It's all of the garbage parts of the pig mixed with cornmeal. This sounds pretty bad. It's gross, but also delicious. I'm okay with that. Pierogies are big here in Pittsburgh. There's burgers with pierogies in them here. Ask Josh. I've talked with Josh about pierogies on many occasions. We're both of the opinion that it may well be the perfect food. And yeah, I guess there's a lot of pierogi culture in Pittsburgh. I don't know why, from like a, you know, diaspora standpoint, but that's pretty dope, man. I'm for it. Haggis is dope, but you can only eat it a couple times a year or you get sick of it. I would eat haggis. Which I don't think that makes me like, you know, some kind of like daredevil or anything like that. But I ate blood pudding. I do not enjoy it. Or blood sausage. Do not enjoy it. You know, what's the worst that can happen? You eat some food that sounds gross, you taste it. If it tastes gross, you know, have a drink of water, you're good. Have you ever had balut? No. See, that I might draw the line there. Somebody in chat suggested I'm middle-aged. Calling it a 27-year-old person middle-aged implies that you yourself... Well, first off, it implies that they're going to die when they're 54, which, you know, look up the freaking Wikipedia article on average lifespans based on country around the world, is not true for most of the developed world, but apart from that, that's like a 10-year-old's attitude. I'm not trying to call you 10, I'm just saying if you're like, oh my god, your sister's 27, is that young or old? It's ancient, she's almost a senior citizen. Do I have the soul of a middle-aged man? That's possible. I value equity. I try to consider myself a man of principles. I don't eat lemons recreationally. That's a young man's game. But to suggest I'm middle-aged is quite silly, in my opinion. Talk to a 40-year-old. They're gonna think a 27-year-old is basically a teenager. Talk to a teenager, they're gonna think a 27-year-old is basically 40. It's an awkward middle age. Canada has a life expectancy of like 80. That is correct. It's like 80.4 for men and like 85.1 for women or something like that. I don't think I'm ever gonna have a midlife crisis, which I understand is probably something that like everybody who's ever had a midlife crisis has said. But like I have no interest in the trappings of youth, apart from like not having like, you know, an extra 30% risk year over year of having a heart attack, or decade over decade of having a heart attack. I don't really care about, you know, fast cars and dive bars. I don't care about fast food and good boots. It doesn't have to rhyme. It just has to be Tom Waits. What's your limit for trying delicacies? I think I have an elegant description that minimizes my hypocrisy. If I think something will taste bad, but people tell me it's good, I will try it. If I think the idea of eating something will actually make me vomit, then that's where I'd maybe draw the line. Like balut, for example. Well, let me start with the other way. I don't really like turnips, but I haven't tried one in like 5 years. If somebody was like, oh, you gotta try these turnips, I'd be like, I'd eat them, and then if I didn't like them, I'd just be like, it's not really my style. But if somebody was like, this 100-year-old duck egg with the embryo still inside is so good, I'd be like, you know what? Why don't you enjoy the whole thing? What are the best fruits ranked? We've talked about this. I love ranking. I think there's so much, you know, fuel for conversation when it comes to, you know, ranking shit. Here's the thing with fruits. Some of the most delicious fruits are locked behind tough exteriors. Like a fresh pineapple is lovely, but it's very annoying to get to. That's why I think you gotta go with, like, you know, strawberries and blueberries. Admittedly expensive, but good for you, delicious when they're in season, easy to eat. Apples, I don't think they're anybody's, like, AAA #1 fruit, but they're so portable, easy to eat, they keep for a long period of time, especially in the fridge. You know, they gotta be up there. Pears, I love pears, I love the flavor of pears, but they have a high variance, I think you have to admit. Some pears you bite into, it's like biting into a piece of bark or something like that. And some of them have just got just the right consistency. Same for plums. Mango is top tier. It is, but it's kind of hard to consume, right? It's hard to peel. You got to get a knife. Watermelon, I agree with that as well. Cut the mango in 3 and then scoop out the insides with a spoon. I mean, I feel ya, but at the same time, I'm already on apple #2 by then. You know? The person with the apple's already increasing their efficiency, at the expense of the taste to some extent. Avocados are trash, avocados are shit. Yo, chat, you gotta be on the West Coast for a while, okay? Avocados have their rightful place in the culinary pantheon. Have you ever eaten 2 apples in a row? Absolutely. Not on the regular, but on occasion I will. If I go out for a long bike ride, I eat 1 apple, still feeling a little drained, I'll eat a 2nd apple. Doesn't bother me at all. Rank the popular fruit juices. Watermelon juice is my #1. Is watermelon juice a popular juice, though? I'm gonna be real with you. You don't want me to rank the juices that are popular, because I have a different opinion than most people, I think. I enjoy cranberry juice, which I don't think is rare, but if I had to rank them, it would be like grapefruit juice #1, cranberry juice #2, then apple, then orange. And then, like, significantly below that, grape. But it's only because, you know, I'm excluding watermelon juice because I don't think it's a popular juice. Apple is a kid's juice. Orange juice is for men. You know, you're honestly buying into the orange juice syndicate at this point. Like, they have convinced you that orange juice is what professionals drink and apple juice is for children. It is just marketing. It doesn't exist in reality. Yeah, someone in chat said I used to think orange juice is good for you. That's the thing, is that the juice companies, they get you. They show like a ray of sunshine being bottled into a glass of orange juice. They go, oh, you know what? You got to be really concerned about your vitamin C. It's not like you accidentally eat like 10,000% of your daily requirement of vitamin C. It's like the easiest vitamin to get of all time. You know, better to take 4 pills of it a day and make sure your piss turns like neon. You just eat the orange, man. You get the flavor, you get the fullness, and you get the fiber. As a kid, I drank so much apple juice, I can't stand it, but apple cider is dope. Do you want me to blow your fucking mind right now? The only difference on a nomenclature level between apple juice and apple cider is whether or not it's filtered. Unfiltered apple juice is the same thing as apple cider. Go look it up on Wikipedia. A lot of this is just marketing. Cider has more of an earthy kind of rawness associated with it, and juice has, you know, freshness associated with it. Go look it up. Do the research. Stay woke. I mean, we do have alcoholic cider, but when we say cider, generally we're not referring to alcohol. Most of the time, you're like, if one of my friends invited me over and was like, hey, do you want to try some of this apple cider? I would be like 60% confident it's not alcoholic. I would assume that he went down to the farmer's market and bought some unfiltered apple juice. Is little Desmond some kind of Damien figure? You know, he's like a week old, man. You know, you gotta give him at least like 20 years to sort out, you know, the very foundational elements of his personality. Just, you know, slow your roll. Keep in mind, you know, little Desmond, he's not just a baby. He's a human being. Like, right now, he's a baby. He is essentially a tiny person who, for all intents and purposes, is basically an object that belongs to Dan Gheesling. But he's his own man as well. You know, he's got to make his own way in the world today. Or not today, but, you know, in several years. But let's give it some time. We can't make him a human meme while he's still just a baby. It's not fair to him. When you have kids, you'll understand babies are nothing but pooping and tit-sucking machines until they're about 6 months old. Dude, last weekend for Canada Day, we were hanging out with Kate's parents and also her sister. So my sister-in-law and brother-in-law were up from the United States, and they have like a 4-year-old and a 1.5-year-old. And you pretty much nailed it. Even the 4-year-old is just sort of like, you know, there. They're doing cute stuff from time to time, but mostly it's just, you know, you're like, oh, one day you're going to be an adult, but it doesn't appear to be there's going to be any time in the near future based on the way you're acting right now. Like, I still don't usually find the biological clock of wanting to have children has not ticked in for me yet. I'm not like, those kids are annoying, but they're cute, and when they're yours, you deal with it. I'm still like, these kids would dramatically impact my lifestyle. It's not that I hate kids, it's just that I'm responsible enough to know that I shouldn't have them now. Like, financially and from like a life lesson standpoint, I think it would be fine. But I really like sleep. Like, I really, really enjoy the fact that I can go to bed at like 2 in the morning and wake up at 10. And you're basically signing off on not having that again for like 15 years if you have a child. So I'm not done with it yet. I'm still enjoying my sleep schedule. Kids will change your life. It doesn't ruin it, but it makes it really different. Exactly. Like, I'm still living for number one right now. I'm still young. I haven't had a whole lot of time in my life where I've just been living for number one, you know? Like, I'm taking night classes to learn how to program. That is a serious damper in that once you have a child. Everything's got to be about the child, which it should be if you want to be responsible. I mean, you can still have your own life, but you got to make compromises there for sure for the, you know, the safety and the success of your own offspring. I'm not ready to make those sacrifices yet. Kate is even more in that camp. Her biological clock might have actually been broken when she hung out with her nieces and nephews. She was like, I don't know how to deal with these children. I didn't mean to be rude when I said your biological clock was broken. I just mean, you know, short-circuited. All I'm saying is that you were not enamored with the idea of having kids when you spent time with your nieces. Babies are ugly and worthless, kids are annoying and dirty, and teens are stressful. Well, I mean, don't take this the wrong way. I think that's a very young person attitude to have about kids. Like, you know, we got enough population on the planet. I don't think you have to have kids. I don't think there's anything noble about, you know, passing on your genes to a future generation. That being said, I think most people are of that opinion when they themselves are young, and then when they get older, things change. But they have not changed for me yet, and I'm gonna keep liking that for now. Kids are scary because they can't think like normal people. There's a ton of truth to that. Actually, when I had first started teaching in Korea, you know, you're like, I'm gonna be like a good teacher. I'm gonna be sensible in my punishments, but you know, kids have got to be kids too. So then, like, a kid does something in your classroom, and you go like, hey, don't do that or I'm gonna punish you, and then they do it again, and you're like, wait a minute. Their brains don't respond to the normal things that an adult brain responds to. They don't understand consequences for their actions. Like, that's why you have, like, these bullshit punishments that strike fear into, like, a half-formed brain, you know? I worked as a TA for a while, and kids are dumb. There's nothing, you just gotta accept it, you know? People who are like, oh, kids are so innocent, they have all the beauty in mankind is contained within the eyes of a 3-year-old child. I disagree with this assessment. Kids are human beings before they make the ascendancy from the animal kingdom into something greater. We've all been there. Babies are smart as fuck. I disagree with that on an enormous level. Then they become kids. Yo, is this just the plot to the 1998 film Baby Geniuses? The other thing about having kids, Kate and I, we'll have dinner at like 11 p.m. We'll go to like cool restaurants. You can't do that after you have a kid. It's all Chili's and Applebee's as far as the eye can see, right? You gotta make sure you got a high chair and stuff like that. Baby Geniuses was actually released in 1999. 1 year off as usual, huh? Kids' behavior depends on upbringing. If the parents fucked up, don't say the kids are weird. Nah, dude, like, nobody is the best version of themselves at, like, 6 years old. They only, like, people generally get better at some point in their adulthood. I know that's not universally true. Top 3 vegetable snacks. I will answer your question. First, I would like you to tell me whether you mean vegetables that can double as snacks or snack foods that are based on vegetables. Snack foods based on vegetables? Okay, but then how deep are we going to go here? Are we going to say potato chips are based on vegetables? Because while it's literally true, it also, it seems a little bit like cheating. Like, all snack foods, for the most part, are based on, you know, wheat flour or corn or potatoes. I'm just trying to get the boundaries set right here so that I can answer in an honest fashion. Yeah, they're all cooked in vegetable oil, exactly. In fact, I can't think of snacks. There probably are some, but I can't think of snacks that don't eat, or that don't have a base in the vegetable world. Okay, vegetables you eat as snack foods. That's got to be like carrots, celery. I don't even know what you throw in the other option. Okay, chickpeas, but that's more of a spread than a snack. You can eat hummus by the spoonful, but it's a little out there. To not even have like some pita bread with it or something like that. Cucumbers? Yeah, okay. Carrots, celery, cucumbers. There you go. Peanuts? Look, peanuts, while from a phylogenetic standpoint are vegetables, I think from a culinary standpoint we separate them from nuts and other legumes. Rank your rankings of things. That's almost too meta. Like, I can't get in there. I think our ranking of Friends was number 1, then maybe Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, then fruits, then vegetables as snacks. Content is a bad word. Since when? It's just people in my industry use it to be like, you know, sorry, can't spend time with my kids, too busy making hashtag content. Dude, I'll say content like 50,000 times to never have to hear the word influencer again. That shit bums me out. It's like, yo, dog, you're calling yourself what marketers call you. You have an allegiance to your audience. Like, they're the people that got you to a point, and you're going to be like, by the way, my job title is I have the ability to convince people to purchase things. Like, I don't like it. We don't have a good word for what we do as streamers, YouTubers, etc., etc. Content creators was clumsy, but I do not like influencers as a word. I'm not going to, if someone was like, oh, so you're an influencer, I'd be like, well, yeah, that is what I do, but please don't call me that. I prefer talent. Demigod is a good one. Supreme leader. Anything along those lines is fine. Influencer is just I don't want to get a big head, right? TrivDX says adult entertainment. It's entertainment for adults, not adult entertainment. There's a subtle difference, but you know it when you see it. How about 21st century court jester? Court jester? I'll take it. If you call me court gesture, though, that's ridiculous. Rank world capitals by the coolness of their names. I think you gotta throw Zagreb up there near the top. That's a pretty cool one. To be honest, Canada should make Moose Factory their capital. Wow. Look, it's got a great name. Nobody's gonna deny that. If you could trade any city in Canada for a US city, what city would you choose? I don't know what city I want to get rid of, but give us, like, Seattle or San Francisco. I think we could integrate with it. I think it would work well. And you know what? You can take Regina. Shit trade for the US? Well, yeah. It said if you could take something. Take San Francisco for free? I don't know, man. San Francisco's pretty dope. I understand that there's parts of its, I mean, like, it's, you know, real estate bubbles, all sorts of fucked up, and people treat it as like a hotbed of hipsterdom. But that city's got a lot of culture and great food. I would happily take Seattle up here. I'd take anything in the PN dub. How about Kuala Lumpur? To the best of my knowledge, not located in the United States. I believe that's actually the capital of Malaysia. San Francisco has an extremely bad homeless problem. I mean, we are in the same boat here in North America, honestly. So, or not in Vancouver specifically, we got the same situation going on. So I can't really be hypocritical and say that that renders it, you know, unlivable. How about swapping Vancouvers? No, thank you, sir. I'm okay with sales tax as long as I can keep the City of Angels, as they call it. Lonely as I am, together we train. Buffalo for Regina? Why would we want Buffalo? I mean, no offense. I've been there many times. It's just, on the list of most desirable American cities, you can't imagine Buffalo shows up all that often. It might be a perfectly fine place to live or raise a family, but, you know, if I say, hey, name an American city, where does Buffalo get named? 50th? They do have an NHL team. So I'll tell you what, we'll take Buffalo and we'll give you a Canadian city that does not have an NHL team. You can take, like, Hamilton. They're even fairly close to one another, geographically speaking. Canada has a town named after the musical. Actually, there's a funny story after Hamilton kind of broke out. It was a major success on Broadway. Our Prime Minister, Justin Trudeau, invited Lin-Manuel Miranda, and he said, hey, any town you want in Ontario, we're going to rename it. And they chose the town of West Foxville and said, you know what, let's call that Hamilton. And since then, they've gotten a CFL team. They've really blown up. That's why they call it Steel Town, is because it was actually, the name was stolen from the musical. What if we give you San Francisco, but in exchange your national anthem becomes a Red Hot Chili Peppers song? Dude, I don't know if I could go through school if every day before class we had to hear, like, I'm getting born in the state of Mississippi, Papa was a copper and the mama was a hippie. This is the national anthem for Canada, thanks to the San Fran Exchange. You guys seriously listen to the national anthem every day before school?
Come on. I'll explain on the way.
I said that thinking it might actually be weird. But yeah, like, we'd go to homeroom, like our first class, and then at 8:15, they'd play the national anthem. You know, it's like a minute long. And then they'd play the announcements for school. This might just be like a Canadian thing, I don't know. But, like, they played the national anthem so much that they didn't just have, like, Oh Canada. They had, like, a country version of Oh Canada they'd play to mix it up. And they had a version by an a cappella group called the Nylons. That was like, doo-doo-doo, ba-ba-ba-ba. Okay, and then, like, bum 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 bum. It was crazy, man. I can't really say that it's not strange to listen to the national anthem, like, every single day. It's a little weird. in hindsight, but it was just routine back then. You say the Pledge of Allegiance every day? That's even worse, because it's like you're making a statement. I'm not going to sing the entire national anthem for you, but I know the words. Of course, I heard it every goddamn day. Sing the first 2 words. That would be O and Canada. Tales of Poi, thank you. What is Poi? We as a society have a serious problem. There's Poi, there's Koi, there's boy toys, there's soy, and then many derivative products thereof. I think we're a one-oi kind of society, and we're just getting a little too big for our britches right now. It's a Hawaiian dish made from the fermented root of the tara, which has been baked and pounded to a paste. Sounds like what I did to your mother last night. I got her high and then turned her into Colgate. That doesn't make any sense. What's your opinion on grape-flavored apples? You know, I don't have an opinion on grape-flavored apples because I've never seen them. But I've been reading a lot. I've been getting into apples. I'm really into the Honeycrisp right now. Did you know the Honeycrisp apple was actually created in a University of Minnesota laboratory? How does someone get into apples? You know, it's a convenient snack that's got a lot of simple sugars. It's very useful after going on a long bike ride. Honeycrisp is the only apple I eat. Those are good. I love them. Pink Lady? Pink Lady is also good. I am pro Pink Lady here. Red Delicious is the worst? Red Delicious is pretty good. You are incorrect. Red Delicious are hit and miss. I agree with that. When I'm at the grocery store, if I'm buying Red Delicious, I'm taking my sweet fucking time looking at every single one of those Red Delicious, giving it a little squeeze, because you want it to push back when you squeeze on it. You want it to be firm when you bite into a Red Delicious. If it's mushy, it's just a disaster. How often do you eat peaches? Oh, you're getting me started on a topic of which there's a lot of conversation to be had, I think, early on here. Here's my problem with peaches. A soft peach is amazing. You bite in, and it's like just the perfect amount of give, and it gives you that nice, you know, juicy little peach fruit. But sometimes they're too firm. You bite into a peach and it's like it's got the consistency of an apple, and then you're eating it, it gets like a little pearish where it gets all like grainy. Peaches are one of those fruits. I like peaches, but I think they might be better in canned form. I've got to be honest. Not many fruits get better in canned form, but I do think that peaches might be one. What about plums? Don't even start with me on plums. You're getting me all riled up here early on in the show. I wasn't ready for this level of discourse. What's your favorite kind of apple, Egg Boy? You got me started on another thing of which I'm quite passionate. There's a website out there that actually has user reviews of apple brands, or apple varieties, that I've been perusing lately. I tend to consider myself a Honeycrisp man. Sometimes I'll consume a Crisp Pink Lady. I do like Red Delicious. I don't remember the name of this website, by the way. But people are fucking furious about Red Delicious. If you go to this site with the user reviews of the apple varieties, people have given Red Delicious collectively like 2.8 out of 5. And they're like, stupid apple. Wouldn't even give this to my least favorite teacher. It's all about Crisp Pink Ladies. And I got to admit, the Crisp Pink Lady is a fantastic apple. The likes of which it had to be created in a laboratory at the University of Minnesota. Red Delicious is too mealy. Yo, if you're eating some mealy Red Delicious, you got nobody to blame but yourself. Go to the Orgo section. Get those Orgo Red Ds. No problems there whatsoever. Why is it called Crips Pink Lady? I don't know. It was probably made by like the Crips Pink Lady Corporation or something. Yellow or green pears? Can I be honest with you? I'm a brown pear man myself. I like the Bartletts are the green ones. There's nothing wrong with the Bartlett from time to time. But I'm more of a Bosk man, to be honest with you. Crips Pink was originally bred by John Cripps at the then-named Western Australia Department of Agriculture. What did I tell you? You guys gotta Wikipedia some apple varieties sometimes. They have a storied history. Red Delicious is like a 19th century invention, and it really is an invention. If NLSS was Frasier, Dan would definitely be Niles. I think that is ridiculous. Does Dan strike you as a Niles? Dan is totally a Niles. Niles is like wayfish and snobby. Dan is like an everyman who just likes to throw sticks into your bicycle tires. Pokemon Go just released in Canada. Yo, I will never fuck with the Pokemon Go community after that shit yesterday where the dude who worked at a Bar was like, I will publicly humiliate anyone who plays Pokemon Go in my establishment, and people just bombarded the place with like 1-star reviews with the Pokemon theme song and like ruined their business. I'm not saying that guy, you know, wasn't being an asshole, but at the same time, it's like, Jesus Christ, you just ruined their business, man. Just because, like, their brewmaster or whatever said he doesn't like Pokemon Go, made a shitty joke, it's okay. Guy invested, like, millions of dollars in his business, made one, you know, one of his employees made kind of an offhand comment, and now, sorry, your online reputation is ruined forever. Then somebody in the comments was like, man, you should really learn to hire better. I'm like, this is like a 60-year-old dude making this comment. You're gonna have an interview for the brewmaster job. You'll be like, okay, one thing that's really important to us is that you never accidentally insult an online fandom. So what's your opinion on, like, Doctor Who? And then he's got to be like, I'm the Who agnostic. And they'd be, okay, you're hired. He was being a dick, so it's kind of his own fault. Oh, I don't feel for, like, the brewmaster. Like, that guy... He made a comment that made him look like a dick. I feel bad for the owner of the establishment who was, like, backpedaling all day yesterday on Facebook. Like, we don't share the opinions of that dude. Like, in general, you just shouldn't be an asshole to begin with, but on the internet, you know, the time is not proportional to the crime, which is the foundation of our, you know, democratic justice system. He sets rules for the entire establishment. Yo, everybody that works at these places is an autonomous individual, though. You can't be like, you know, hey, run all of your personal social media posts past me before you post them. That's like, you know, I'm a man, baby. Freaky man, baby. I ain't afraid of no ghost. I ain't afraid of no bed. You shouldn't hire people who are like, you like something I don't like, so I'm gonna make fun of you in front of everyone while they're on the job. I agree, but unfortunately, that's not something that's easily diagnosable during a job interview, you know? Mostly you'd be like, hey, can you fizz buzz? And then you'd be like, alright, I caught a Charizard, how do you feel about that? Fuck you, man! Alright, you don't get the job at Google, sorry. And now, I don't think you understand the gravity of this man's crimes. I generally oppose the death penalty, but not in this case. Well, when you put it that way, I guess I have to agree with you. Alright. I was mostly, I was just offended because it was a Canadian establishment, but then I remembered that that's Newfoundland, which is like, you know, Canada's Guam. So I don't know what the hell goes on over there. And now, what are your top 5 favorite types of rap? Okay, well, we're talking about WARPs here in Cincinnati. I think you gotta put, like... By the way, I'm gonna say that, you know, a burrito is a rap. You know, a soft taco is a rap. A rap is a rap. So I'm gonna say number 1, you gotta go burrito. Number 2, probably go for a soft taco. Number 3, you probably gotta go for a rap. But I gotta be honest, aren't raps, like WARP, isn't the entire concept of a rap just like, I want a sandwich, but I don't want the carbs from the bread, but then a flour tortilla also has like as many carbohydrates as bread? I feel like the entire rap industry, and not RAP, I get it, warp industry. Rap industry is predicated on this like low-carb diet principle that it's not actually true. Like, we hold these falsehoods to be self-evident. Is a quesadilla a rap? I don't know, I'd say maybe it's a foldover. We've had this discussion before, but if you gave me like 100 out of 100 times, I would take a sandwich over a wrap. And I'll spell rap. W-A-R-P. I like bread more than tortillas, so me too. But the problem is, if you made a wrap with a corn tortilla, you'd get that awesome corn flavor. They always make them with flour tortillas because they have greater structural integrity. Believe you me, I understand the value of that. We talk about bread integrity all the time. But the corn tortilla is just so superior to the flour tortilla that anytime I have a flour tortilla, I'm like, this might as well be culinary paper. I also feel like sandwiches open up a greater variety. Like, you can have a salami sandwich. You can't have a salami wrap. Wraps are like exclusively turkey or chicken or then like, you know, some kind of hummus, I suppose. I got nothing against hummus. I'm very pro hummus. I don't mean to insult hummus here. Open-faced sandwich versus open-faced wrap? What the hell is an open-faced wrap? It's like some kind of strange pizza hybrid. Like a tortilla pizza or something. Falafel's food of the gods? Look, if I go to a place maybe like a North African or a Lebanese place, they got the choice between the shawarma, the doner, the falafel. I always get falafel, but it amazes me the indignity of some places that will be like, hey, yeah, falafel. And then they just pick it up and microwave it right in front of you. And I'm like, look, I'm not paying $30 for a falafel here. This is like it's a $7 meal. But at the same time, don't microwave it. At least bring it into the microwave in the back or something. It is some trash falafel, you know? You gotta love a nice crispy falafel. But when they give you a falafel and it's kind of mushy and you're like, this just tastes like old chickpeas and pepper. You're like, that's not what I'm looking for. I tried to eat falafel when I went vegetarian and it was so fucking gross. Yo, dude. It might not be for you, but falafel is still off the chain. And now, have you ever had the Eisbein pork knuckle with sauerkraut? I have not. That, honestly, I can get down with that. There are very few parts of the pork I will not eat. Yeah, pork knuckle is definitely the male camel toe. Would you rather compete on Big Brother with Dan or on Survivor with Mathis? There's two answers to this question. If I go into the Big Brother house with Dan, there is like 0 chance I win. Dan, you'd think being on the show and winning basically every single time would make him so he'd have a disadvantage, but he would still smoke me. It wouldn't even be like close. So I'd get my ass kicked on Big Brother if I was in Big Brother with Dan. On the other hand, if I was on Survivor with Mathis, I'm not saying 100% I would smoke Mathis on Survivor, but I'd probably have a better chance. And we'd at least be going in even. But then, so I think from a winning standpoint, if it was like, if you don't win this game, then you're not going to be able to, like, you know, survive. I'd rather be on Survivor with Mathis. However, in terms of, like, having fun, I would definitely rather spend 12 weeks in the Big Brother house than, like, however long you spend on that fucking island. Like, at least in the Big Brother house, you have, like, unlimited food. You're living in, like, a mansion. You got, like, a pool and stuff. If you get knocked out, you can just, like, hang out in Los Angeles hotels, right? You know, that's not so bad. It's better than being in fucking, you know, the Vanuatu rainforest for, like, 2 months. So I think I'd rather be on Big Brother, honestly. And maybe, like, out of the goodness of his heart, Dan would see fit to take me to, like, the final 2. The pool has jizz in it, I guarantee it. Every pool has jizz in it. If you've been living your life thinking that you're swimming in jizz-free pools, you're operating under a false pretense, my friend. Do you think you could come out of Big Brother being friends with Dan if he betrayed you on the show? Honestly, if I went into Big Brother and, like, made an alliance with Dan and he betrayed me, what was I expecting? I've watched his supercut. I know you on the show. In real life, I think you can trust Dan intensely. I do believe it. I think he's a person, even though he's a shit disturber, I think he could be a loyal friend. But on the show, you can't trust him as far as you can throw him. Anybody that goes into that show, you know, trusting Dan, they really can't be mad if and when they end up being betrayed. Because it's all public record at this point. I haven't watched the supercut from season 14 yet. But it's like, whenever people get, like, mad on the show at things that Dan does, I'm like, you know you're on, like, a game show to win money, right? Like, it's like you're not on the show to actually, like, make friends. You're on the show to win $500,000. When people are like, he's a piece of shit, like, I would never, can't believe that someone would do that. I'm like, you all signed up to win 500 grand, buddy. Who are you trying to fool here? I think being in that house nonstop makes people crazy after a while. It's probably true. I believe that. You know, I don't think it's as easy as it looks. I also think it's fucked up that they put, like, 15 people in that house or whatever, 12 people in that house, and then, you know, you only make money if you come first or second. I guess you get, like, a stipend if you make it to a certain level, but what's your favorite part of the Big Brother 10 supercut? I really like when it's the final 3 and they beat Jerry in the elimination competition and he just, like, takes off his pants and he's in his tighty whities and he's like, God damn it. Like, the sense of defeat out of that old man is palpable. Who would get kicked off first in NLSS Big Brother? Honestly, I think Dan has a good point. I was not offended when Dan said I would probably do poorly on Big Brother because people would take offense at my humor and then just, like, not like me very much. From what I gather about Big Brother, A big chunk of the early game is just like being friends with people. And I think that maybe sometimes I could be perceived as being a little bit abrasive. Most of the time it's just I'm a shit disturber just to add some fun to things. But I think some people would take it the wrong way for sure. Who would win though? I mean, the smart money would have to be on Dan, right? He's been there before. I don't know. The problem I've got to vote out Mathis first. Because I know Mathis will turn on me in a heartbeat. The man has not a loyal bone in his body. He'd sell me out for a nickel, I think. Would Josh win? I think Josh, he's got that like little Danism where he's like friendly and you can underestimate him easily, but then he could pull like a mastermind move. I believe that. Bear? I don't think Bear has the big brother, I don't think he has the killer instinct, honestly. I think Bear would be like, he'd make it far because he wouldn't make enemies. By the way, I'm talking out of my ass. You should really be asking Dan about this, but I don't know if Bear has if he has the bone in his body that would allow him to pull the trigger and knock out one of his friends. Similarly, I think, you know, Nick couldn't do it. He would rather lose than betray somebody. Does Bear have killer instinct too? He's got killer instinct gold for the Nintendo 64. Austin? I think Austin could. I think he's in the running for a win for sure. Malf? I also think Malf could do it. But I don't know, you know, sometimes with Malf, he lets me down with his intestinal fortitude. Like sometimes I think he'd be all in, but sometimes he'd be like, I hate living in this house. Let's, you know, I got a headache. And then you'd be like, well, let's just vote this guy out. One thing's for sure, though. I think I got no chance. Who would you bring to the beach island getaway? I might bring Malf. We could have a fun time. I don't think I have any chance on Big Brother. On NLSS Big Brother, maybe. On Real Big Brother, no chance. I don't think I could win any reality show. I'm not Bachelorette material. Definitely not Bachelor material. I'm more of like a Jeopardy guy, honestly. You could win Millionaire. I don't think you would bet on me to win $1 million. I think I'm good for 128K. But I'm honestly on Jeopardy. Because here's the thing, on Millionaire, it's high variance, right? Like, if you're a genius in like 99% of categories, you could still get, on the like $64,000 question, you could get a category you got no knowledge in whatsoever, maybe your lifelines are gone, etc., etc. But I think on Jeopardy, there's a little bit less variance. Because the sample size is much larger. So even if you got like one whole category, like musicals, you got no fucking idea. The other thing about Jeopardy is that I feel like it's like Video Ball, man. Jeopardy's sort of like Video Ball in the sense that people think that Video Ball is like there's some secret, but it's just double touches, you know? The thing with Jeopardy is people think you actually have to know all the answers, but 99% of the time, you don't, well, not 99% of the time, like 30% of the time, you don't need to know the answers. They give you contextual clues inside of the Jeopardy answer, and then you answer with a question. So, like, people sometimes, like, I'll be watching Jeopardy at home. People go, how'd you know that? And I go, I didn't, but they said, like, this musical politician, you know, got in a gunfight with Aaron Burr. And you go, that's fucking Alexander Hamilton. Even if you didn't know Alexander Hamilton got in a gunfight with Aaron Burr, you'd be like, musical. Then you'd be like, oh, Hamilton's making waves right now. I think, though, most of the people on Jeopardy are geniuses. The problem is you can look like an idiot if you're bad with the buzzer. A lot of the people who I think, you know, you watch Jeopardy, you go, oh, this person's dumb. They're probably not actually dumb. They're just bad at the buzzer game. Who would you take on Family Feud? Honestly, I think Dan would be fine. Christ, don't take me. I don't know. Austin was like my third. I feel like I might be the only one of the NLSS cast that has a firm grip on reality, to be honest with you. Josh would probably he'd be on the short list. Look, I love Nick. There's no way that Nick makes it onto the Family Feud short list. One of his favorite fruits is lemon, for fuck's sake. He's not the kind of person you want on there. Malf, I don't know, even, like, he's a wild card. Sometimes he's all in on the Family Feud stuff, and sometimes he's got, like, no chance. What's wrong with lemons? The thing that's wrong with lemons is if you were on the Family Feud and they said, what's America's favorite fruit? And then, like, apple and banana have already been said. If you say lemons, you're fucking off the team. That's a ridiculous answer. I agree with that. Someone in chat said on Family Feud, you're better off with idiots. You're better off with someone who's in tune with the common man. Nick is not in tune with the common man. He's an exceptional individual in all ways. You know, yeah, I think Bear could be on there, but sometimes Bear surprises me too. I guess, you know, if I have to take 5, I guess Bear would be on the list. If you're gonna force me. Nick is too good at thinking outside of the box. I think that that's true. Nick's first inclination with every Family Feud question is that it's a trick question. And it's like, it's not correct. Most of the time, they want a straight answer. You know what game show I'd do good on? The Price is Right? Don't fuck with me, Austin. If you and I go on The Price is Right, I'm taking you down. But it would, well, only in the Showcase Showdown. You know what's bullshit about The Price is Right? The first person who wins the showcase is like the best player of The Price is Right. But sometimes they go up and they're like, you get a chance to win a new dinette set. And then the person who was like last, the last person to win the bidding war at the start, the showcase, they sometimes are like, here's a new car. Like, that game rewards mediocrity. You know what show I would actually do great on, and it pains me to say it because it's a garbage show. Well, it's not garbage, it's just low quality entertainment. Is that celebrity name game show where they like, you know, one person sees the celebrity name and they have to like, you know, oh, he starred as Luigi in the Super Mario Brothers movie, and then they go, blah, 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 Bob Hoskins. No, you idiot, he played Mario. It's John Leguizamo, the Latin Prince. You probably do well on that lyric game show. Yeah, is that even on anymore? Don't forget the lyrics. Don't forget your toothbrush. And now, would you do well on Nickelodeon Guts? I'll be honest with you, I do horribly on Nickelodeon Guts. You might think that I talk myself up on these shows. That I, you know, come into this and oh, you know, I'm such a genius. I would definitely kill Jeopardy. No, I'd get my ass kicked. I'm not good at climbing. I'm a horrible climber. You know what game show is bullshit? Is Deal or No Deal. The show is literally like random chance. And then, the banker called. He added together the remainder of the values that are left in the briefcases and then offered you slightly less than that. Will you take it? Deal or No Deal is basically like primetime television's version of pick a number between 1 and 10. Rate your confidence in Wheel of Fortune. I think that of all of the areas of intelligence that exist, I'm fairly intelligent linguistically. I think I would do okay on Wheel of Fortune. I think I'd have a chance. But that game show's bullshit as well. Why you gotta throw the wheel spin in there? It should just be called a Hangman. Competitive Hangman. Physical, like if you put me on American Ninja Warrior, it would be a viral video because of how sad it is. And now, if you cut off your fingers and get $100,000 for each, how many would you cut? 0. The problem is, like, $100,000 is not so much money that it's not gonna run out. So, you know, if I had like $99,000 in credit card debt or something like that, that might be different. Cut off a pinky for it, but I'm all right. So like, I don't want to like cut off my pinky finger and then buy like a Tesla, and then in like 10 years I got no Tesla and no pinky finger. It's a permanent decision for a temporary problem. How about 500 grand? Have to think about that one. I'm assuming that there's no takebacks here. Like, I can't just get prosthetics and then be like, tricked ya. You rent, correct, NL? You wouldn't lose a pinky to get a down payment on a house to secure your financial future? Well, with the housing environment in Vancouver right now, I actually feel like renting is not really throwing my money away. It's actually keeping me agile and not putting me all in a housing market that is, you know, predicted by many to be an unsustainable bubble that could burst at any moment, especially given the plausibility of provincial legislation coming down to, you know, tax on occupied dwellings, restrict foreign ownership, etc., etc. Rank the planets of the solar system by your criteria of choice. Okay, well, it's obvious. First planet, Earth. This big blue marble we call home. Number 2, Mars. It's our brother from another mother. Number 3, I think you gotta go Jupiter. Big man, you gotta give it the respect it deserves. Saturn's number 4, because it's got those dope-ass rings. Number 6, I'm gonna say that it's a tie between Uranus and Neptune, because Uranus, of course, has been the source of all these great puns and wordplay. But Neptune is also, like, badass, you know? It's the big blue marble we don't call home. And then it's also named after the lords of the underworld. And then I think you gotta say, probably next comes Venus. It's like Venus is like, hey, we're close. You want to come for a vacation? And then you arrive, and it's just full of fucking like sulfurous gas, and you're dead. And you're like, oh, the TripAdvisor, you gave this a 3 stars. Really, it should be 2 maximum. And then I think in the final slot, you got to say Mercury, because it's like, who gives a shit about Mercury? It's just a big old hot rock. Nobody cares. And don't even get me started on Pluto. I'm an astronomer. Your tier list is good. Hell yeah. Rank the moons of the solar system. Gotta go number 1, the moon. La Luna, the big gray rock we call home. And then the rest are tied for second. I like how every time NL does the top 5, he ranks 2 things and then moves on. It's hard, man. To think of 5 things, you gotta have a great breadth of knowledge to have 5 things and reasons for them on the go for everything. Top 5 Borat quotes. Her vagine hangs like sleeve of wizard, number 5. Number 4, you'll never get this, you'll never get this. Number 3, this suit is not black. Number 2, very nice. Number 1, my wife. There's your top 5, you savages. Is the quote not, this suit is black not? I can't tell if you're making a Borat joke. Is the quote not, this suit is black not? If you watch the bit, there's two big ones. There's, this suit is black not. And then there's also, this suit is not black. Do Borat impersonating Yoda. There's like a great impression in there. Yes, my name is Yoda. I will be the teacher of you to the Jedi arts. I gotta meditate on that one a little bit more. Teacher of the Jedi arts I will be. What are the most dad Kanye verses? That's very easy. That'd be like, and I vow that my child will be well endowed, like his daddy. And tell him that your mama had a fatty. He looked up at me, said, Daddy, that's the reason why you had me, yup. We was practicing till one day your ass bust through the packaging. You know what though? You my favorite accident. So go ahead, pop some Cristal for my newborn child. And wow, y'all know what this is. It's a celebration, bitches. There you go. That's the most dadly Kanye verse. It's the one he literally talks about being a father. And now, what's the most dad way you can abandon your children? Definitely shouting, run! While you, like, hand-to-hand fight a bear in the forest so that they can escape, but you're definitely dead. Who's the daddiest U.S. president? I feel like Jimmy Carter. Jimmy Carter strikes me as like the Mr. Rogers of American politics.
I'll give Tullius one more.
Everyone like has a big hard-on for Teddy Roosevelt, and he's got some great stories about being like a manly man. But at the same time, from like an international diplomacy standpoint, dude sounds like a total dick, right? He's always like, you know, what's my foreign policy? Speak softly and carry a big stick. How about, like, you know, I get by with a little help from my friends? If we're gonna go with, you know, cheap little pithy sayings that you can just throw out there, instead of be nice or I'll kick your ass, how about just I get by with a little help from my friends? How about lovely Rita Meter Maid, as long as we're quoting Beatles songs here? Your real foreign policy is she was just 17, if you know what I mean. That's probably not great foreign policy. I wouldn't dance with another. Oh, and I saw her standing there. NL is favorite movie based age guessing out of the meta right now. It's a great way to fill dead air. It does go a little out of control sometimes, but I got a lot of people saying, hey, I love that game. I did have one dude tweet me right before the show and he said, stop with that lame stop with that lame foo-foo shit, I wish you quit it. I've sent some shots at your fitted. Gratata. He did not actually say that though, but he did say stop it. I'm 21. My favorite movie is a psychological thriller that came out in 2014. What is it? Gone Girl. My favorite movie is a 1987 American parody. My favorite album is a metal banger from 1988. What are they? How old am I? You are a 29-year-old person who is a big fan of Spaceballs and also Metallica's Kill 'Em All. Oh, you know what? It could be Airplane, though. And now I'm 23. What's my favorite Coen Brothers movie? Do you smoke pot? If so, The Big Lebowski. Otherwise, probably Burn After Reading. I smoke weed, and yeah, it's The Big Lebowski. Yo, don't admit that on the internet, man. The internet cops are gonna come for you. I'm a 20-year-old nursing student. My favorite TV show is a comedy/medical show from the early 2000s. There's no doubt it's Scrubs, 100%. You gotta wake up pretty early in the morning to get me on that one. My favorite movies are a 1998 war drama and a 1972 crime drama. 1998 war drama, Saving Private Ryan. Easiest thing in the world, Wolfski. But what is a 1972 crime drama? Is it The Thin Blue Line? Trying to think. There's like some Clint Eastwood movies from Is it oh, what's that Charles Bronson movie? Wow. Maybe Dirty Harry. That's a good one. The Godfather's not a police drama. That's a film about La Cosa Nostra. My favorite movie is 1979 outer space horror. Look, that's Alien. You have to wake up pretty early in the morning to get me on that one. Oh, it is The Godfather. I feel slightly misled, but I'm not offended. Oh, you said crime drama, not police. I think in my head I parsed it as cop drama for some reason. My favorite movie is a movie with actors, a romantic comedy with actors from Star Wars and Scrubs. What is it? And I'm racking my brain here. I can't figure it out. Oh, no, never mind. It's Garden State. I'm an idiot. I was trying to think of what movie has Harrison Ford and Donald Faison been in together? My favorite movie has Leonardo DiCaprio in with Steady Hands. What is it? I actually can't think of a movie that has Leonardo DiCaprio with steady hands. Inception? He has steady hands in Inception as he's holding his hand out, seeing if it's steady? My favorite movie is 1999 film featuring Vin Diesel in the title role. It's obviously The Iron Giant. Come on now. And now my favorite movie is Pixels. How Old Am I? You are the age of a meme, my friend. The golden age of a meme. My favorite movie is a 2003 black comedy / romantic tragedy. What is it? You've been asking for a while. I've been trying to think, honestly, of what it could be, but nothing from 2003 is ringing a bell. But I sort of feel like it could be Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, but I'm pretty sure that's a 2004 film. I don't know. Oh, it's The Room! Black comedy, romantic tragedy. Of course. Self-build, I understand. My favorite movie is an indie movie with the most convoluted timeline ever. What is it? Probably Primer. I just read I've seen Primer 2 or 3 times, but I just read an article about Primer that explained a lot of it, but I wish I could remember the link. It starts http://. I don't want to spoil anything from Primer, but I think it might be difficult to spoil it because it's ridiculous. But anyway, the article that I read explained it in relatively layman's terms, and then also was like, maybe the added implication is that there's another failsafe that was started prior to the actual failsafe that you see in the movie, and it's all just nested time loops, etc., etc. Once again, he blanks over the chat where we tell him to watch Pointless, pure scum. What is Pointless? Explain this to me. It doesn't ring any bells immediately. Basically, it's obscure trivia. Oh, is it one? It's like a British quiz show or something? You guys have all the best quiz shows over there. We only have Jeopardy and fucking Wheel of Fortune. And Family Feud, I guess, if you're, at home watching TV at like 11 a.m. on a weekday. QI is for dickheads. Yo, Countdown is some real shit, though. That is a show that proves that over there, you guys actually care about, like, intellect. Over here, if they put Countdown on TV, people would be like, I don't want to do any of this stupid math shit. This is dumb. I graduated from school years ago. I'm done with knowledge. Countdown is like arithmetic masturbation for arithmetic masturbation's sake, and I have a great amount of respect for that. Have you watched 8 out of 10 cats do Countdown? I've got to be honest with you. We don't get those shows over here. We only get American Idol, Big Brother. Oh, I like this game. NL, my favorite 2012 movie was The Master. 2013 was Inside Llewellyn Davis. 2014 was Boyhood. What was my favorite 2015 movie? And can you name one of my all-time top 3? So let's see here. You're tuned in with the film community. Your favorite 2015 movie. It's a little bit less in the same vein, but appeals to the same audience. I'd say your favorite 2015 movie might be Ex Machina. And one of your 3 favorite films of all time. That is tough. I'm going to say Mulholland Drive. Cabanoid 96. Thank you for the resub. Said, how was your day, Ryan? Finally, somebody asked me about my day without having me guess the movies they like. But in concept said, so close. I loved Ex Machina, but Carol was my favorite. Mulholland Drive is in my top 10, but actually I didn't see all those in there because it scrolled down, but Synecdoche, New York. I'd say I got like the 3rd prize there. I got a bronze medal on that guess. My favorite 2012 movie was Dread. 2013 was Dread. 2014 was Dread. What's my favorite movie of 2015? Ex Machina. I really feel like, and I'm lumping myself in here as well, if you're a man between the age of 20 and 40, probably even a little younger, but if you're you know, into video games, and you're a man between the age of 20 and 40, you know, sort of switched on to nerd culture, your favorite movie from 2012 has like a 95, or 2015, sorry, has like a 90% chance of being either Mad Max or Ex Machina. And I'm not insulting those movies, I loved both of them. It's like, you know, if you were between the age of 20 and 40 in 1999, probably one of your favorite movies from that year is going to end up being The Matrix. There's nothing wrong with it. It's a ubiquitous film. Ex Machina was shit? Now that's just insulting. NL, my favorite film series consists of a fellowship trying to destroy something. What setting from 1 to 5 do I have my toaster on? As far as I'm concerned, 1 to 3 on the toaster, they don't toast. That's a bread warmer. The only truly toast settings are between 3 and 5. 3 is like the lightest little kiss from an angel of a toast. It barely is toasted. 5 is actually just fuck my bread up. Like, char it to shit so that I could actually use it in my barbecue. You gotta go, there's a little sweet spot right around like 3.8 that gives you that nice golden brown without charring the fuck out of it. I don't know why toasters have like 1 to 3 and 5. There should really just be a button that says like toast. NL, my favorite movie is a 2009 indie movie with an original soundtrack by an alt rock star. What is it and how old am I?
What was it like?
Original soundtrack by an alt rock star? Johnny Greenwood did the soundtrack for the assassination of Jesse James by the coward Robert Ford. What Ontario restaurant chain is missing in Vancouver the most? First off, I'd like to appreciate you asking a question that alienates the most number of people on my streams possible. I think it's really good for my mass appeal. But I'm going to answer it anyway, because I'm truly passionate about this. You know, there's only one Swiss Chalet in all of Vancouver, and it's very sad. It's incredibly small, and I only see, like, single 50-year-old men in there drinking, like, pint after pint of Rickard's Red. But I like a nice Swiss Chalet, you know, quarter or a half chicken dinner with fries and the chalet sauce from time to time. I wish we had more of them. But for whatever reason, it has not taken off in BC, or at least in Vancouver. It's especially surprising because there's Swiss chalets everywhere in Ontario. It's extremely common. They pulled out of Quebec. Yeah, well, Quebec's all about Saint Hubert, right? We got a Swiss chalet in Victoria. It's got like 3 people in it tops. I don't know what it is, man. Swiss chalet has not made it here. What she orders, Swiss chalet. Nice. Classic Danism. What's your favorite Dan Gheesling-based meme? You know what I love about Dan is his full-on embracing of the iteration of the memes. Like the fact that he's posting pictures of himself, or of himself, I should say, although he may have multiple selves. I'm not going to tell him how to live his life. Is hilarious to me. Rather than just being like, this is a funny meme, Dan understands how to, you know, manipulate the meme to his advantage. How do you feel about All I Do Is Win by DJ Khaled? Pretty 50-50 on it. I don't find songs like that, like, they're intended to be, I guess, motivational or uplifting, but it just seems disingenuous. If all you do is win, how can you be excited about winning? It's literally just another day at the office, you know? I'd be much more interested in hearing a song that was like, occasionally I lose, but I won this one. That's uplifting. That's it, like, we are the... Compare DJ Khaled's All I Do Is Win. All I do is win, 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 no matter what. To We Are the Champions, you know? I've paid my dues, time after time. That's not the pitch at all. You brought me fame and fortune and everything that goes with it. And I thank you all. You know, you gotta have a little bit of the sour or the sweet's not as sweet. But it's been no bed of roses, no pleasure cruise. Versus, all I do is win, win, win no matter what.